Under a gloomy sky, Sion stands among the ruins. His father's words echo in his mind. Live as a shadow for the family. Exhausted from the battle, Sion drops to his knees, gasping for air amidst the settling dust. Boots crush the debris. A cold smile appears as heavily armed knights emerge from the shadows, looking amused. Sion looks up from his blood to see his own brother, Askel, staring down at him with a twisted smirk. Confused by Askel's grin, Sion snaps. Red energy explodes as he screams, demanding to know who sent them. Suspecting a trap by the mist or the Emperor, Sion fights back wildly, his strikes fueled by pure killing intent. Sion lunges forward, his fist wreathed in red energy, smashing into the enemy with devastating force. Sion stands over his defeated foe, ready to report his victory. The enemy, bleeding on the ground, just glares back defiantly. To ensure no escape, Sion erects a high-level magic barrier. He grins, knowing the trap is snapped shut. Burning with determination, Sion vows to crush any barrier and find the mastermind, all for the sake of his brother. Suddenly, Askel's cold voice cuts through the chaos. That's enough, Sion. Sion freezes, eyes wide with confusion. Askel stands tall against the sunset. Father's words echo. Askel is the house, and his glory is your glory. The truth hits like lightning. Sion stares at his brother in horror. The mastermind he was hunting is Askel himself. Askel steps closer, looking down at his brother like a bug. Wondering why I'm here, Sion? Sion gets knocked back, coughing up blood. Askel smiles coldly. You've executed your duty perfectly, Sion. For the family, and for me, Askel says smoothly. I'm simply relieving you of your burden. Sion trembles with pure rage. Rain lashes down. Askel watches Sion struggle in the mud. Sion's voice breaks. Did I do something wrong? Askel suddenly snaps, screaming accusations. Sion falls to his knees, the energy inside him spiraling out of control. Your sins are abhorrent, Askel preaches. Sion's eyes glow red with fury as he screams back. What bullshit is this? It's all for the throne. Askel plans to use his brother's corpse as a stepping stone to become the hero who defeated the demons. The screen splits as a dark figure cloaked in blue flame stares down with menacing eyes. Behind him, the gold-haired man gazes at symbols of power, hinting at a grand war orchestrated from the shadows. Rage erupts as crimson energy swirls around him. He screams in agony, questioning why he's being discarded like trash after a lifetime of devotion. The sting of betrayal is palpable. Up close, his face contorts with pure hatred. He grits his teeth, howling about 20 years of loyal service treated like nothing. The raw fury in his white eyes tells a story of absolute resentment. He's going all in, heedless of his breaking body. Blood splatters across the floor as his eyes burn with a singular, destructive goal: to tear down his betrayer at any cost. A massive explosion of red mana clears the field as he unleashes Magic Break. The surrounding knights recoil in horror, realizing his power has surged far beyond any human limit. Standing amidst the rubble, he grips his blade as red energy flares like a bonfire. He sneers at his hero brother, mocking his cowardice for trying to murder family out of pure fear. The clash turns brutal. Blood trickles from his mouth as a high-speed shockwave tears through the air, slamming into the white-haired figure and shattering the ground beneath them. They collide in midair. The dark figure lunges with desperate speed, while the gold-armored warrior swings back with everything she's got. The air erupts in a deafening, bone-shaking impact. Just one strike to the vitals, he thinks, lunging from above. Crimson energy rains down on the fallen opponent, trapped in a web of golden light. It's a do-or-die moment. A golden energy net snaps shut, trapping the attacker. As he writhes in pain, a cold, mocking voice calls him a pitiful fool. The tide has turned completely against him. A massive blast sends the dark figure tumbling through the ruins. The gold-clad hero stands tall, coldly claiming he wanted to offer a painless death, lamenting his brother's true colors. Their eyes meet for the last time. The victor looks down with disdain, while the dying man spits blood, finding a grim relief in the fact that he never truly trusted his brother for a second. With a final blow, the gold-armored lord turns to leave, commanding his subordinates to follow. Behind him lies the broken body of his brother, discarded amongst the dust and debris. Battered and bleeding, he lies in the dirt, cursing his fate. His eyes drift shut, filled with a crushing sense of powerlessness as he stares at the pathetic end of his wasted life. In his final moments, he realizes his life was nothing but a series of foolish mistakes. As the world blurs into a haze of violet light, he succumbs to the cold embrace of death. Suddenly, a violent flashback. The dark figure lunges in a blur of motion, his fist crashing into the gold-haired man's face. Blood sprays as the hero reels from the sheer force. The frame trembles as the gold-haired man's face contorts in agony. The Z impact sound echoes the raw violence of the strike, turning a one-sided execution into a desperate, final struggle. Darkness gives way to desperate shouting. He snaps awake, sweat-drenched and gasping for air against a cold wall. The phantom pains of his death are still so vivid, he can barely breathe. Blinding sunlight fills the room as a spunky, blonde maid leans over, scolding him for oversleeping. Stunned, he stares at her face. A goes from his past and gasps, "Emily?" Cold sweat beads on his forehead as he stares at the girl. His mind races. It's been 20 years since they last met. Could that horrific death have actually sent him back in time? Emily, the loyal maid, stares in shock as Cyan looks around the room. Everything is exactly as he remembers from his childhood, feeling eerily nostalgic. Did I really return to my childhood? Cyan clutches his head in disbelief, barely noticing Emily's concerned touch as the reality sinks in. Before he can process it, his aggressive brother demands a duel. Cyan stares at his hands, bewildered by the sudden challenge to spar. Morning light fills the room, but the air is thick with tension. Sitting on his bed, Cyan is utterly confused by the sudden call to arms. Overlooking the massive Duke's fortress, Cyan finally confirms it. He has truly returned to the past, before his tragic fate began. March 1st, 985. Memories flood back as Cyan's gaze sharpens. He realizes this is the exact day his destiny originally took a dark turn. In the Grand Hall, the monthly swordsmanship sparring is about to begin. High above, the nobles watch with cold, judgmental eyes. His opponent is Krantz, his arrogant half-brother. Watching Krantz smirk with unearned confidence, Cyan feels a cold resolve brewing inside. Because his mother is the official wife, Krantz was always the favorite. As a bastard, Cyan was destined to live in the shadows, ignored. Past humiliations sting like fresh wounds. Cyan remembers the chains, the mockery, and the cold commands that stripped away his dignity. Even as a child, he refused to back down. While even his maid doubted him, young Cyan's only response was a stubborn will to win. Back in reality, the rapier feels heavy in his weak 10-year-old hand. Behind him, Emily's anxious voice calls out, begging him to stay safe. This isn't a dream. Gritting his teeth, Cyan realizes the magnitude of this miracle, a chance to completely rewrite his miserable history. Under the watchful eyes of the court, the two boys face off. Cyan's gaze hardens with deadly intent. Let the real games begin. The battle erupts. Krantz lunges with a roar, but Cyan remains terrifyingly calm, as if he can see every movement in slow motion. Is he a snail? To a master assassin, Krantz's speed is pathetic. Cyan watches the frantic attack with nothing but cold contempt. No matter how wildly Krantz swings, Cyan dodges with minimal effort. This effortless grace drives Krantz into a desperate, frustrated rage. Stop running, you coward! Krantz loses his cool, leaving himself wide open. He has no idea he's walking straight into a trap. The counterattack is instant. With a desperate cry, Krantz is slammed to the ground. Cyan's strike was too fast for anyone to follow. Cyan pins Krantz down, sword to his throat, a predatory red glint in his eye. The duel that once ruined him is now his total victory. Cyan grips his hilt as memories of Kranz's bullying flood back. The pain and hatred from his childhood remained, festering even into his academy days. Born again, he decides to crush this scum once and for all. With a lethal gaze, Cyan pins a fallen Kranz to the floor. "In this life, I'll only live for myself," Cyan vows. Beneath him, Kranz is paralyzed with terror, his face contorted in a desperate gasp. The duel ends in Kranz's total defeat. He lies broken and bleeding on the floor, his former arrogance replaced by agonized gasps. The victor, Cyan, is led into the grand hall. The Duke even sent his elite knight, Yulkin, to escort him. His victory clearly caught his father's eye. He runs into the Duchess in the hallway. Instead of shrinking away, Cyan greets her with a mocking smile. "Is Kranz all right?" The Duchess screams about his shamelessness, but Cyan calmly retorts, "That's just sparring." His nonchalance only fuels her desperate rage. "Like mother, like son," the girl beside her sneers, branding him a lowly brat meant for the streets. Cyan stays silent, his gaze turning razor-sharp. "She crossed the line?" Cyan's eyes glow a lethal red, a bloodthirsty smile creeping onto his face as he wonders, "Should I kill her?" Killing her is too easy. Suppressing his lethal urge, Cyan grins wickedly. He knows exactly how to make her suffer, slowly and painfully. Cyan leans in, hissing a threat. If they're going to the academy, surely she wants her son to graduate in one piece. The air freezes instantly. The Duchess snaps, but the cold knight steps in. Yulkin impassively announces the Duke's urgent summons, putting a hard stop to her outburst. Yulkin's presence is overwhelming. No matter how furious she is, the Duchess must yield to the Duke's absolute authority, fuming in silence. "The Duke's orders are absolute," Cyan smirks, watching the knight, who doesn't even budge for the Duchess. Such a reliable shield is quite useful. Behind heavy doors, the Duke stands by the window. Hearing the knock, he gives a cold, detached command. "Enter!" The air turns solemn. Their first face-to-face meeting in 15 years. Duke Willius gestures for Cyan to sit, his calm, deep gaze radiating immense pressure. This man holds a title revered by all. Guardian of the Continent. A name synonymous with supreme honor and daunting duty. He was the hero who single-handedly halted the demon invasion, fighting until the very end. His legend is etched in the Empire's history. A dormant power stirs. This fateful meeting between father and son will shift the course of the entire continent. In an era longing for peace, my memories of him tell a different story. He was remembered as a foolish man who spent his entire life serving others. Stunned, the blond man demands to know when Cyan mastered such elite swordsmanship. Just moments ago, Cyan had calmly read the trajectory and dodged a lethal strike. Cyan claims his skills come from secret nightly practice. Though skeptical, the blond man must admit the boy gave everything to defeat his opponent. Under that piercing gaze, Cyan lowers his head, a bead of sweat betraying his internal tension. In this high-stakes game, any slip-up could be fatal. Pressed further about whether he was hiding his true power, Cyan finally looks up with unwavering eyes. "I just wanted to prove myself," he declares. "I'll prove I'm better than the air." Cyan's words spark a chilling sneer. The man's twisted smile suggests he's merely amused by the boy's audacity. The prediction that he will one day support Askell sends a shock through Cyan. Serving the enemy who killed him? The irony is suffocating. Clenching his fist with lingering resentment, the man offers a reward for the duel. He challenges Cyan to name any price he desires. "I'll destroy everything Askell wants." Cyan's demand to join the front lines leaves his sister Alice screaming in absolute terror. It's a living hell known as the battlefront, swarming with demons. Alice thinks he's insane. In that cursed valley, death is the only constant. The Duke issues an ultimatum. Cyan has 1 month to prove himself. Caught between a bloody battlefield and a father's cold trial, there's no turning back. Cyan clenches his fists, knowing his current body is weak. He's grateful he still has his past life instincts, and must grow stronger fast. As Cyan tries to gather mana, Alice suddenly bursts in. Her shocked reflection appears in the mirror, catching his secret training red-handed. Hearing Cyan insists on going to the front, Alice snaps. She grabs him by the throat in a rage, demanding to know if he's lost his mind. Alice thinks Cyan is just cocky after one small win. She issues an ultimatum, ordering him to the roof for a real duel. On the rain-slicked roof, Alice draws her sword. She coldly declares, if Cyan lasts 3 minutes, she'll let him go to the front. Alice suspects Cyan is after the family title. His cold denial enrages her, pushing the tension to a breaking point. Swords clash. Still exhausted, Cyan is hit by a sudden, violent strike. The massive impact sends him reeling as he snaps into a defensive stance. Alice moves like a blur through the rainy night, her strikes lethal. She's showing zero mercy to her 10-year-old brother. How did he block that? Alice is stunned. She never expected a 10-year-old to parry her full-strength assault perfectly. Cyan calmly analyzes the rapier's mechanics. Using skills from his past life, he tracks her every micro-movement with precision. Alice flashes a manic smile, praising Cyan's sharp intuition. Drenched in sweat, Cyan realizes she's finally getting serious. They clash head-on. Cyan roars, swinging back with everything. The shockwave blasts Alice back as the duel turns into a life-or-death struggle. The battle intensifies instantly. Alice launches a fierce assault, leaving Cyan wide-eyed and struggling to keep up with her relentless blade. The scene shifts to a platform announcement, showcasing a vibrant schedule of upcoming series and promising more excitement ahead. The detailed schedule highlights popular series from Wednesday to Sunday, urging readers to catch early releases on the official website. Against a dark crimson backdrop, a character flashes a dangerous smirk, exerting a heavy pressure while pointing viewers toward their social media. Back in the fray, Alice's face contorts with rage as her blade glows red, lunging at the fallen Cyan with lethal intent. A violent collision erupts in the rain. Cyan is blasted backward by the shockwave, his weapon skidding away as he crashes into the mud. Panting heavily on the ground, Cyan stares in shock. He knows that if he hadn't held back his sword, he might have actually killed her. Facing his opponent from below, Cyan feels a crushing pressure. He's torn without using his lethal techniques. Victory is impossible. The 3-minute limit nears. Cyan forces magic into his blade despite the pain, while Alice begins chanting her ultimate spell. 6-star magic? Cyan's pupils shrink. Alice soars into the air, her blade erupting in a blinding blue light that shatters the surroundings. Facing a completely frenzied Alice, Cyan feels the chill of death. He never expected this simple test to turn into a life-or-death struggle. Driven into a corner, Cyan kneels and blocks for his life. He realizes he must rely on his final trump card from his past life. Power erupts. Blue energy surges like a tidal wave as Cyan swings his sword in a desperate counterattack to survive the blast. Grinding his teeth, Cyan makes a final plea. In the distance, reinforcements rush forward as the battle reaches its ultimate climax. Cyan leaps high, his sword cutting through the air. Just as they are about to collide, a desperate shout of "Stop!" echoes across the field. A massive explosion obliterates everything. As the dust settles and the sky turns blue, the sheer destruction leaves everyone trembling. Sir Jerkin intervenes just in time, coldly stopping Alice. Cyan lies scorched on the ground as the duel finally comes to an abrupt end. Cyan is still shaken, but the once lethal Alice suddenly breaks down, tearfully apologizing as her emotions spiral out of control. Alice hugs Cyan tightly, sobbing. She was simply too terrified of losing him to the war. This overwhelming love warms Cyan's cold heart. A majestic academy emblem appears. Even among the continent's elite students, Cyan's sister Ellis was a peerless S-class genius. With her flawless beauty, Ellis was hailed as the divine child. Both she and Askell were seen as future protectors of the continent. Tragically, her life cut short soon after joining the order. Cyan clenches his clothes, his heart aching with longing and regret for her. In his memory, Ellis holds young Cyan close, her gaze resolute. This time, she vows with fierce determination, "I will protect you." Sir Jerkin stands firm, following secret orders to protect Cyan. Little does he know, the sharp-eyed boy noticed his presence immediately. Cyan wonders why his cold father would order secret protection. He eventually sinks into a warm embrace, letting his guard down for a moment. Night falls over the quiet castle. Gazing at the sleeping boy, the woman smiles softly, realizing he's still just a child at heart. With Ellis back at the academy, Cyan pushes himself to the limit. He collapses on the floor, his body trembling violently from exhaustion. 2 weeks of intense training, yet his weak body hits a wall at just 10 reps. The crushing weight of his physical limits leaves him frustrated. Haunted by memories of his past strength, Cyan is desperate for a breakthrough. Just then, Emily arrives with a package from Ellis. Inside is a vial of foul-smelling purple liquid hellhound blood. It's a gift from Ellis, though the stench is absolutely revolting. A rare find even on the black market. Hellhound blood offers immense power, but it comes with an agonizing, burning sensation. Most see it as poison, but Cyan knows its true value from his past life. This blood can permanently boost physical and magical strength. Ignoring Emily's worried gaze, Cyan downs the liquid with cold resolve. To gain the power he needs, no amount of pain is too much. The surge of power contorts Cyan's face, as he endures a reaction more terrifying than poison. Emily watches, horrified by his struggle. With eyes glowing red and a dangerous aura, Cyan stands up. He needs to head out and test the true extent of this newfound power. Standing alone on the hillside, Cyan gazes at the distant town. He has been planning for this very moment for 2 long weeks. Taking advantage of Jerkin's absence, Cyan slips into the forest. He is searching for an ancient temple hidden deep within the wilds. Finally, he senses the flow of mana. Cyan smirks, his eyes glinting with red light. This secret belongs to him alone now. Cyan slams his hand onto the ground, unleashing a violent eruption of red energy. Askel, you couldn't imagine this in your wildest dreams? Gazing at the cracking ground and surging energy, Cyan suppresses his killing intent. It's not the time for a full-scale eruption, not yet. Stepping into the deep cavern, Cyan is struck by memories of the Great War 300 years ago, an ancient battlefield steeped in destiny. Deep within the ruins, a divine purple light shoots upward. This is the Temple of Lumendal, where long-buried history begins to stir. Cyan stares in disbelief at the levitating holy sword. He can't believe such a powerful artifact has been hidden in this wilderness all along. The magnificent holy sword glows with divine light, as if awaiting its master's return. A long-dormant power vibrates within its steel. History says humanity barely repelled the demons using these god weapons. The owner of this sword was the key to changing the tide. The brightest among them is the holy sword Durand Dark, blessed by the gods, the sharpest blade ever used to drive back the demon legions. Seeing the sword, Cyan recalls the tragedy of his past life. This very blade, held by his brother, pierced his chest, igniting his rage. He reaches out, but the holy sword remains cold. Frustrated and bitter, Cyan delivers a sharp kick to the so-called divine artifact. So much for a holy sword, Cyan sneers. As he turns to leave, he catches a strange, sinister red shadow lurking in the darkness. He realizes it's no ordinary shadow. Where there is light, there must be darkness, and the true power may be hidden right there. Cyan touches the altar, triggering a volcanic eruption of red energy. At the bottom of the abyss, an ancient stone door emerges. The violent shockwave shatters the surroundings, forcing open a new path. Cyan cautiously peers into the unknown space behind the door. In the center of the light, he finally finds it, the demon sword K-Ram. Grabbing the hilt, Cyan feels a long-lost sense of familiarity. The demon sword awakens. Crimson energy explodes as Cyan swings the blade, its raw power shattering the stone foundation into dust. "Wake up, sleepyhead." Cyan looks at the burning demon sword with a confident and dangerous smirk, ready for the slaughter. The thirst for blood excites him, but a sinister voice echoes from the darkness, mocking his charm and his ignorance. Cyan coldly asserts his ownership of the sword. The monster in the shadows scoffs, calling him a fool for waking such forbidden power. A hideous maw snaps open as the monster roars. It lunges to devour Cyan's body and consume his soul entirely. Enveloped in a swirl of dark energy, Cyan is pushed to his limits. Despite the agonizing pressure, he grits his teeth and fights back against the taunting voice. Fueled by rage, Cyan's eyes glow red as he defies his attacker. A clawed hand reaches out, claiming absolute possession over him in this mental struggle. A dark-haired woman lunges with a powerful strike, sending Cyan crashing into the ruins. Trembling and bloodied, he gasps, demanding to know her identity. The woman erupts with purple energy, questioning Cyan's worth. Standing firm amidst the red mist, Cyan senses the distinct power of wind emanating from her. Cyan declares himself the successor of air with chilling confidence. Infuriated, the woman snarls back, refusing to accept a mere brat as her new master. Words fail as they clash violently in midair. Kairam, wearing a wicked smirk, reveals her dark intent to completely consume and take over the wielder's body. The battle intensifies, leaving Cyan struggling against her overwhelming might. Suddenly, the words sword manipulation appear, signaling a shift in the tide. Looking down on him, the woman demands submission. She becomes a blur of purple speed, attempting to force Cyan to accept her as his master. Cyan scoffs at the brink of defeat, reciting a secret incantation. The woman's arrogance turns to pure shock as he unleashes the hidden power of sword manipulation. The tables turn as the once dominant woman collapses to her knees. Forced into surrender, she begrudgingly acknowledges Cyan as her new master. Clutching a glowing red blade, Cyan calmly descends the stairs. Having secured his prize, he leaves his defeated opponent behind in despairing silence. The sword spirit resurfaces in high spirits, but freezes upon hearing Cyan's name. It looks at him with growing suspicion, baffled by his unknown origins. Confronted by the spirit, Cyan calmly reveals he has died before. This revelation of reincarnation leaves the spirit utterly speechless and shaken to its core. With a sharp gaze and blade in hand, Cyan hints at future events. The spirit feels a chill, realizing the boy possesses forbidden knowledge beyond its grasp. A massive holy sword erupts from the floor, bathing the hall in light. While the spirit watches intently, Cyan gazes at the blade, formulating his next move. Cyan clutches a glowing orb with a chillingly confident smile. Beside him, the spirit laughs maniacally, marking the start of a dangerous new conspiracy. As dusk falls, a carriage speeds toward a distant castle. Cyan's new journey begins, the setting sun lighting the path of his unfolding vengeance. Now clad in heavy armor, Cyan reflects by the window. Time has flown, and as the pivotal day arrives, his resolve burns brighter than ever before. With troops assembled, the cold Duke gives Cyan one last chance to back down. He asks if Cyan is truly prepared to face the perils of the front lines. "My heart is already on the battlefield," Cyan declares. Fearless, he marches through the dust toward the front lines as the curtain of revenge rises. Standing in the desert, a glowing red seal suddenly flares up on Cyan's arm. He looks on in shock, realizing a massive summoning is underway. A massive magic circle erupts in the sand. The resulting explosion sends shockwaves tearing through the desert, leaving only fire and chaos in its wake. A flaming hellhound emerges from the blast, roaring with fury. Despite the threat, Cyan remains deathly calm, instantly identifying the low-ranked demon beast. The scene shifts to before the trial. As Cyan draws his blade, he knows his father has likely pushed the knights to make this test incredibly difficult. Facing the stern knights, Cyan grips his weapon. The lead officer warns him to take full responsibility if he wants to pass. He must show absolute resolve. The bearded knight, Yulkin, sharpens his gaze. With a sudden metallic ring, his sword flashes out of the sheath, radiating pure killing intent. Flashing back even further, Cyan challenges Yulkin to a duel. With only 3 days left before his deadline with his father, he desperately needs real combat. Cyan looks at the knight with pleading eyes, asking for help. Though hesitant, Yulkin is actually worried that the boy can't handle a real fight. Frustrated that others just run away from him, Cyan persists. Exhausted by the boy's determination, Yulkin finally agrees, but only on one condition. Yulkin decides to use only his scabbard and focus solely on defense. Though surprised, Cyan gratefully accepts the perfect chance to practice his offense. Cyan flashes an eerie smile as his eyes glow with a red light. He coldly orders Yulkin never to tell his father about what is about to happen. The duel erupts. Cyan moves so fast he becomes a blur, launching a thunderous overhead strike before Yulkin can even process the speed. Yulkin is forced to cough up blood from the raw impact. He is utterly shocked that a 10-year-old could deliver such terrifyingly heavy blows. Cyan stays on the offensive, striking again from above. Yulkin's pupils dilate in shock as he struggles to track the boy's impossible speed. A massive vortex of energy explodes as Cyan unleashes his power, blasting Yulkin backward. The entire training ground is torn apart in the chaos. Through a flurry of high-speed clashes, Cyan completely dominates. Sparks and shockwaves fill the air, turning the duel into a one-sided display of power. The fight ends as Cyan sticks the landing. Yulkin, breathless and defeated, admits he can't win, as a new sense of respect forms between them. Looking at the smiling, sweating boy, Yulkin is deeply shaken. He can't believe the weak young master Cyan has grown this much. Yulkin is awestruck by Cyan's limitless potential. Meanwhile, the Hellhound's roar echoes through the desert. The true life and death struggle begins. Cyan smashes the ground and lunges forward with iron resolve. Facing the summoned demon beast, he charges into the dust. The hunt is on. The battle hits its peak. Cyan's muscles surge with power as his eyes ignite with a berserk fire, readying a lethal strike. Cyan dives at high speed. He knows a prolonged fight is too risky with his current strength. He must end this now. I'll end you with this. Cyan roars, plunging his sword into the flaming monster, ending it in a massive explosion. The soldiers are stunned by Cyan's prowess. From afar, the Duke smirks, seemingly satisfied with his son's brutal performance. As the dust settles, Cyan looks at the monster blood and finds it wasteful. He wonders if he should bring a cup next time. The cold Duke approaches with applause and brief praise. He turns to the front lines, leaving only a "see you" at the battlefield. Terror-inducing purple energy erupts around Cyan. His respect for his father shifts into a sharp, murderous intent. The demon sword K-Ram roars for blood. Cyan stares into the dark, coldly replying, "Don't worry, you'll have your fill." With blood-red eyes and a sinister grin, Cyan fully masters this forbidden power, eager to begin the next slaughter. Interlude: the berserk monster bellows from the dark, questioning its late awakening. This is the start of a hellish rebirth. Interlude: only the strong survive in this perilous world. Cyan climbs toward the peak, followed by his bloodthirsty demon sword. Cyan's provocative gaze targets his next prey. His overwhelming evil charm makes him look more monstrous than the creatures he hunts. Alarm! Ogres approach from the northwest. The camp bells toll frantically as war clouds once again shroud the front lines. The commander roars orders as a massive magic circle erupts. Soldiers raise their rifles, bracing for the devastating impact. Orcish enemies scream under the magical barrage. The battlefield turns into a slaughterhouse of agony and blinding light. The blonde knight leads the charge on a white steed. His lance points forward as he becomes a blur of red and silver. Cyan is terrifyingly calm amidst the chaos. He moves like black lightning, gracefully harvesting lives through a sea of apes. Heavy impacts and enemy wails fill the air. Under blood-red clouds, Cyan watches the carnage with a grim expression. Emily is in tears from the horror. Cyan pulls her close, his tone nostalgic and eerie. "I'm back. I miss this place." Father and son talk in this hellish theater. Cyan feigns nervousness, but in this deadly frontline, he is truly in his element. Under a blood-red sky, the cold Duke warns Cyan to stay alert. Despite the daily carnage of the front lines, the reborn Cyan's gaze remains unshakably firm. The battle rages fiercely as knights struggle to repel demons. From the camp, Cyan watches in silence, the air thick with an oppressive sense of impending crisis. Assigned to the furthest tent, a brooding Cyan calculates how to slip past the guards and find a suitable sacrifice for the demon sword Kram once night falls. Inside the tent, the loyal maid Emily screams in pure terror. Knowing the cruelty of this place, Cyan watches her breakdown and suggests she simply go home. Fuming, Emily tearfully asks who would care for him if something happened. Her mixture of rage and worry leaves the usually stoic Cyan momentarily stunned. As Emily storms off to prepare dinner, Cyan stands alone in the hollow room. Watching her go, his gaze turns resolute, contemplating if sending her away is safer. A new chapter begins. In the dim light, Cyan's face looks eerie as a dark, unnatural sensation spreads through his eyes, hinting at a strange transformation. The camp is deathly silent as Cyan dons his black cloak. Emily wakes suddenly, startled, asking if he's heading out for another life-threatening training session. Despite her fear, Emily admires her master's diligence. Cyan coldly orders her to stay in bed and wait for his return before vanishing into the night. Despite the heavy border security, Cyan decides to risk a breakthrough. Beneath the torrential rain, his eyes flicker with a lethal, predatory intent. Black mist third form, misty descent. Cyan plunges like red lightning. With a thunderous explosion, he officially begins his personal hunt. Monsters roam the wasteland, but to Cyan, it's the perfect testing ground for Kram. His eyes turn blood-red, curling his lips into a chilling smile. The bloodthirsty Kram screams for slaughter in Cyan's mind. Yielding to the urge, Cyan swings his energy-clad blade, obliterating a monster instantly. In the heat of battle, Cyan looks maniacal, face smeared with sweat and blood. He relishes the destruction, satisfied with Kram's overwhelming power. Misty Blade, Misty Tempest. The powerful skill sweeps the field. Darting through fire and explosions, Cyan annihilates the hoarding monsters with ease. Wounded by the impact, Cyan forces his broken body to stand. His crimson pupils glow in the dark, radiating a relentless, savage determination. He downs a mysterious liquid as energy erupts within him. Cyan grins with satisfaction. This surging power is his key to surviving this brutal war. The night is young, and monsters are plenty. Standing amidst ruins, Cyan feels Kram's dark bliss, fueled by a feverish confidence for the night's hunt. On this cursed land, the cloaked warrior faces a relentless horde alone. His blade glows crimson, marking him as the deadliest reaper in the dark. Meanwhile, a convoy nears the front. A knight begs Princess Erin to turn back, but the white-haired girl remains cold, seemingly ready to face death. Princess Erin stands firm, demanding respect as the imperial princess. She insists on fulfilling her duty to her father, the emperor, leaving her subordinate no choice but to bow in submission. The attendant mentions that Cyan Vert is serving on the front lines at their same age. Stunned, Erin's eyes well with tears as she realizes the heavy burden shared by young nobles in this war. When suggested they could be friends, Erin erupts in a mix of anger and tears. She stubbornly denies any interest and storms off to sleep, leaving her attendant stunned and awkward. The atmosphere shifts as the name Cyan Vert is revealed. The characters respond with awe and shock, while Erin stares into the distance, her mind racing with complex emotions. Gripping her glowing blade, the silver-haired girl whispers Cyan's name, her voice filled with doubt and curiosity. The somber aura surrounding her hints at a deep, fated connection between them. Suddenly, a massive black-winged beast erupts in a savage roar across the sky. With glowing blue eyes and a wide-open maw, its sheer power shatters the air, signaling the start of a violent clash. The battlefield is a wreck under a blood-red sky. The blonde commander urgently checks for casualties, and only after confirming everyone's safety does the tension ease as they prepare to retreat. Duke Willius emerges from the smoke, his boot heavy on the beast's corpse. Despite the victory, his cold gaze and stern expression suggest he's troubled by something hidden within the chaos. Gasping for breath, Cyan kneels atop the giant carcass, covered in grime. Willius looms over him, his sharp eyes scrutinizing his young son, asking if he has truly adapted to the life of a soldier. Cyan replies that he learns something new every day. For the first time, Willius shows a flicker of warmth, smiling and admitting he is proud of Cyan's endurance, momentarily softening their cold relationship. Before Cyan can relax, Willius turns serious again, ordering him to report to his tent the next morning. Watching his father walk away, Cyan breaks into a cold sweat, sensing something significant is coming. Father has never been this kind before, Cyan thinks, stunned by the anomaly. Standing under the crimson dusk, this sudden warmth feels more like an ominous warning than a fatherly embrace. The peace is shattered instantly. Violent explosions tear through the night air, shaking the very ground. Sharp speed lines signal a sudden, high-speed assault closing in on Cyan with lethal intent. A massive energy blast craters the ground as the enemy strikes. Cyan maneuvers through the flying debris, clutching his red daggers with a resolute glare, ready to counter the overwhelming force. Faced with an overwhelming foe, a sweating Cyan struggles to hold his own. The demon sword Karam whispers a tempting offer to take control, and despite his distrust, Cyan realizes he's running out of options. The monster unleashes a terrifying roar, as its wounds knit back together instantly. Realizing that standard attacks are useless against such rapid regeneration, Cyan's expression darkens as he searches for a finishing blow. Blown backward by a massive impact, Cyan hits the ground hard. Faced with this overwhelming power gap, he wipes the blood from his face, his eyes turning cold, as he decides to unleash his forbidden trump card. Karam, let's do it your way! Cyan roars, as a pillar of red murderous intent erupts around him. Activating the ninth form of the demon sword, Thick Mist, he shatters the earth with raw, demonic energy. Vanishing into a streak of crimson, Cyan lunges with primal fury, intent on shredding his foe. The monster's face contorts in agony and terror as it is torn apart by the relentless, vengeful strikes. Under the full moon, Cyan spins through the air, his red energy blooming like an 8-petaled cyclone. This ultimate strike, the 8-petal whirlwind, descends like a divine judgment, engulfing the entire battlefield in blinding destruction. A pink energy beam erupts from the sky, shattering the earth. Cyan is caught in the shockwave, his face contorted in agony as the power overwhelms him. The violent energy engulfs Cyan completely. His eyes glow with a blinding light as his body strains under the crushing weight of the magical surge. In a dark canyon, knights in white capes investigate a fresh beast carcass. The lingering mana in the air is so potent it sends chills down their spines. The blonde commander stares grimly at the beast and orders its immediate cremation. He suspects demonic involvement and refuses to take any chances. The commander studies the sword marks, struck by a haunting sense of déjà vu. His thoughts are interrupted by a subordinate calling for his urgent attention. The torchlight reveals the massive corpse of a death worm. The knights stand in awe, wondering who could possibly possess the strength to slay such a beast. The commander's brow furrows as he suspects the organization. Meanwhile, purple mists swirl, hinting at the awakening power of the demon sword. In his mind, Cyan grips the blood-red sword while Karam looms behind him. The power is immense, but one slip of focus and the demon will devour his soul. After the battle, Cyan collapses in a shack, his body racked with pain. He's lucky he consumed the monster's blood, otherwise he wouldn't have survived. The pink wisp of Karam appears with a cunning smirk. Cyan, though exhausted, coldly notes that the demon's childish appearance hides a dangerous mind. Karam points out that Cyan moves like a veteran of 30 years. The demon finally drops the bombshell. You've died once before, haven't you? Faced with a question, Cyan stops hiding it. His eyes turn cold as he acknowledges his past life. The tension in the room drops to sub-zero levels. Cyan's lazy dismissal infuriates Kram. Despite the rage, the demon begins to wonder just who was powerful enough to take down the previous Cyan. Cyan calmly deduces his past death was likely betrayal. His chillingly logical analysis leaves even the demon impressed by his sharp intellect. Kram reveals a monstrous form, looming over Cyan like a shadow. It issues a dark threat. Show any weakness or hesitation, and I will devour you. Back in reality, Cyan sits up and firmly puts the demon in its place. To him, Kram's annoying personality hasn't changed a bit from his past life. Memories of kneeling before the Demon King flash back, heavy with dread. Suddenly, the frantic voice of his maid, Emily, snaps him back to the present. Relieved to see Cyan awake, Emily rushes to his side. However, the sheer panic in her eyes tells him that something has gone terribly wrong outside. Emily trembles as she reports a high-level monster near the camp. Cyan stiffens, realizing they've found the death worm he killed last night. Emily is startled by Cyan's intense questioning. He can't spare time to comfort her, desperate to know if he left any clues behind at the scene. In the desolate canyon, a soldier arrives with an urgent summons. The Duke wants to see Cyan immediately. Cyan looks annoyed, thinking to himself, what a pain. Cyan grits his teeth at the monster corpses. The soldier's sudden arrival ruined his plan to clean up the mess. All he wanted was a quiet life before the academy, but now it's all a mess. Inside the tent, the Duke's imposing back radiates pressure. Cyan salutes calmly, but internally he's anxious, worried his father's sharp eyes will see right through him. Sit down. Those two words make Cyan's heart skip a beat. Breaking into a cold sweat, he frantically scrambles for an excuse to explain away last night's actions. Back in the heavy atmosphere of the room, the Duke stares Cyan down, bringing up last night's incident. Forced to sit, Cyan feels the Duke's piercing gaze cutting through him. I'll be direct, the Duke says. His commanding presence makes Cyan feel incredibly small. Cyan holds his breath, desperately searching for a way to lie his way out. The Duke demands to know Cyan's whereabouts. Cyan tries to lie about sleeping early, but the Duke scoffs, pointing out that the sword marks on the monsters match Cyan's technique perfectly. The Duke is skeptical. Can a mere child really kill such a beast? While Cyan plays dumb, his clenched fists betray the immense pressure of being doubted by a powerhouse. Suddenly, the Duke mentions the secret assassin group, Mist. Cyan's pupils shrink in shock. The nightmare from his past life is surfacing far sooner than expected. The Duke explains Mist's brutality, noting they leave black smoke behind. Cyan grips his blade, his mind racing. This organization is even more dangerous than he remembered. Legend says the black smoke is the trail of Eru, the god of darkness. The monster's remains were shrouded in it. It seems an ancient evil is returning through these assassins. The Duke concludes Mist killed the monsters and warns Cyan to be careful. Cyan is stunned, but relieved that the Duke isn't suspecting him as the actual culprit. Just as Cyan begins to relax, the Duke drops a bombshell. With a serious look, he asks if Cyan knows who is visiting today. The tension spikes once again. His Majesty the Emperor is visiting. Cyan is speechless. Not only is the Emperor coming, but he has a favor to ask of Cyan. This is trouble on a whole new level. Right then, a herald announces the Emperor's arrival. A powerful aura sweeps the canyon as His Majesty strides forward to greet Dukefort with casual dominance. The Emperor claps the Duke's shoulder like an old friend, but his sharp eyes quickly shift to Cyan, scrutinizing the boy the Duke seems so focused on. Cyan kneels, introducing himself with composure. The Emperor notes the Vert lineage is truly special. Cyan, however, is wondering what kind of dirty work the Emperor has planned for him. Cyan recalls his past life, where he could only watch the Emperor from afar. Now, he's at the center of power. The Emperor smiles, ready to introduce a key companion. In the desert, the white-haired Princess Erin introduces herself. Cyan recognizes her instantly as the tragic princess from his past life, a girl tied to a heavy destiny. Inside the command room, the cold Duke orders Cyan to escort the princess. Sion is stunned and confused, wondering what his father's true intentions are. The Duke explains they're the same age and should get along. Sion recalls seeing her at the academy in his past life, feeling a strange sense of fate. Sion broods in the dark. He hates being used as a tool for royal connections, yet he knows he cannot defy his father's authority just yet. Under a red sky, Princess Erin remains cold. Sion plays along, hiding the fact that he alone knows the dark future that awaits them both. Erin is horrified by the sight of a crimson river in the canyon. Sion explains with chilling calm that this is the infamous Blood River. The grim truth is revealed. Old and wounded beasts leap into the river to die. Their decaying mana turns the water red, creating a literal graveyard. Disgusted to learn beasts bathe in this blood, Erin recoils. Sion adds that the river flows straight into the demon realm, the heart of hell. Sion mischievously teases Erin about meeting the Demon King. While he enjoys her reaction, a dangerous surge of energy erupts from the valley below. Suddenly, a yellow flare signals a demon beast invasion. The peaceful moment shatters as Erin pales in terror while the knights prepare for battle. As the Duke readies the troops, the Emperor arrives with a glowing sword. He's bored of waiting and is eager to jump into the fray himself. The Emperor's command ignites the army's morale. Soldiers roar as they charge, and Sion readies himself for the brutal slaughter ahead. As Sion prepares to move, his relative Yulkin frantically begs him to head for the shelter. In this crisis, her concern feels like a distraction. Yulkin insists on joining the fight. Sion snaps, warning her that war is no playground. Their tempers flare amidst the rising smoke of battle. Yulkin vows to protect the princess, but she is simultaneously enraged by Sion's dismissive attitude, feeling her pride has been insulted. She demands respect for her royal status. In the heat of war, where choices mean life or death, Yulkin's fear turns into hysterical rage. Go back and cry if you must, Sion scoffs as they depart. Yulkin is left standing alone under the blood-red sunset, feeling utterly humiliated. The front lines become a meat grinder. Massive monsters smash against the barricades as soldiers scream and fight to hold their ground. Don't retreat. Protect His Majesty, the commander bellows amidst explosions. Soldiers reform their lines, bracing for the next wave of beasts. A heavily armored warrior lunges into the enemy ranks, his red blade cutting through the fog. The battle reaches a fever pitch of pure carnage. Let's start with the platform's update schedule. Many popular series are listed here, though several are currently on hiatus. At the bottom, a red-eyed character gives a charming smirk, reminding everyone to follow their social media pages. The story begins with Emperor Dion, looking cold and stern. He had 2 wives, one deceased, and the current empress. There are many royal children, but the 5th, Princess Erin, was born to a lowly concubine and is being marginalized. She's a princess in name only, but Erin doesn't care. She studies tirelessly and fulfills all her royal duties. Sadly, in her past life, she was framed for treason and died alone at the border, earning the title Tragic Princess. Sion swings his sword in combat while Kram, the spirit behind him, teases him about the ruthless politics of his past life. Lightning strikes. A massive monster is blasted by a powerful flash, showcasing the Emperor's overwhelming strength. Holy lightning erupts as the Emperor dominates the battlefield like a god of war, possessing unimaginable power. This is 8-star magic, powerful enough to reduce everything to rubble. The Emperor's status is well earned. Sion remains calm, joking that being Emperor might just be a side hobby. Now, Chapter 9. The Emperor's tour begins. Inside the tent, the Emperor drinks alone, looking lonely. He invites Duke Willius, who refuses, citing the wartime ban on alcohol. Focusing on the map of Wuzif, they discuss the recent assassinations of nobles that have spread fear everywhere. The Emperor confirms it, noting the victims were all corrupt. Strangely, the crime scenes are always covered in a black mist. The Duke's heart sinks. He's seen that same mist near the camp. It seems the mysterious organization is active again. Even worse, Corrupt nobles are using these assassins as an excuse to frame Princess Erin for treason and ruin her. Seeing Erin surrounded by schemes, even the Duke is shocked. They'd target a young girl just for their own profit. "If I die first, please watch over her," the Emperor begs as a friend. Willia solemnly vows to honor this request. In the rainy camp, the air is heavy. Having heard this history, Mentor Sarika's eyes widen in absolute shock. Sarika jumps up, unable to believe that Cyan ended his escort mission for the princess so casually. Emily snaps at Cyan, mocking his slow pace and love. After a flustered retort, Cyan entrusts her with a task. He then steps into the pouring rain, his eyes burning with a new, grim determination. A mysterious cloaked figure barges in, sending Cyan into a cold sweat while Emily trembles in the corner. It turns out to be Princess Erin, who bows her head in a tense, nervous apology. Erin shyly asks for a private chat, but Emily ruins the mood by fanboying over the princess. Cyan, caught in the middle, cowers in the corner, sweating over the sheer social chaos. Guards and priests surround a glowing tent amidst the torrential rain. Inside, Erin questions Cyan with cold composure. Though he responds respectfully, Cyan's eyes betray his shock at her sudden presence. The tension thickens as Erin coldly asks to be alone with Cyan. Emily misinterprets the mood as romantic, giddily leading them to enjoy themselves, leaving a bewildered Cyan to face the princess's icy gaze. Cyan sighs internally, feeling too old for romantic drama. To his surprise, Erin blushes and apologizes, admitting her recent behavior was unbecoming of a princess, trying to bridge the gap between them. Cyan offers soft words of comfort, easing the tension. Erin responds with a rare, shy smile. Watching her, Cyan acknowledges her talent and realizes she possesses a maturity that rivals his own. Just as the mood lightens, Erin mentions Cyan's upcoming enrollment at the academy. Cyan's expression sharpens instantly. His red eyes narrow as he senses a hidden agenda behind her seemingly casual remark. Erin's warmth vanishes, replaced by a cold sneer. She tells Cyan she's useless to him and mocks his attempt at friendship. Cyan stands frozen, stung by her cruel words and the sudden emotional wall. With tears welling in her eyes, Erin demands to know if Cyan views her as just a princess in name only. Cyan remains silent, his troubled expression reflecting the heavy moral weight of her accusation. Erin cuts ties, apologizing for wasting his time. She admits she expected a decent conversation, but now realizes Cyan is nothing like Lord Askel. The comparison hits Cyan like a physical blow, shattering his composure. The mention of Askel triggers a violent reaction within Cyan. His eyes burn red as an agonizing, invisible force tears at his arm, turning his internal shock into a visceral scream of physical pain. Erin seizes Cyan's shoulder, demanding answers. Cyan, struggling with his pain, asks how she knows his brother. Erin recalls a meeting at the Royal Academy, where Askel offered her advice on being a princess. Cyan mulls over the word advice, visualizing Askel's sinister presence amidst the rain. He knows his brother is a literal devil. A chilling realization dawns on him. The trap was set long ago. In a vision, Erin is a puppet controlled by Askel's crimson strings. Determined to intervene, Cyan offers her his own counsel. However, their tense exchange is interrupted by a violent, earth-shaking tremor. Panic erupts as girls scream from the wreckage. Emily breaks down in tears, urging everyone to run. Suddenly, a massive explosion rips through the ceiling, raining debris down on a stunned and sweating Cyan. The storm-lashed camp becomes a scene of carnage. Cyan's tent is reduced to a smoldering ruin as panic spreads among the ranks. Amidst the chaos, a voice screams in terror for the Lord. "Quick! Check on Lord Cyan." The rescue effort is desperate. Emily collapses in the mud, her face a mask of pure agony as she screams for her lord, fearing the worst amidst the rubble. A flash of violent purple fades into a pained groan. The scene dissolves into a stark white void, leaving the credits to roll over the silent aftermath of a devastating, high-stakes betrayal. The explosion levels everything in its path. In the pouring rain, survivors scavenge the ruins for the young master. The air is filled with the harrowing cries of the girls, their world shattered by this sudden, brutal assault. Rain lashes down as the purple-haired girl struggles beneath the rubble. Trapped and terrified, she cries out for her master into the chaotic storm, her life hanging by a thread amidst the ruins. In the dead of night, tension thickens over the ruins. The eye-patched leader glares at the blonde warrior, his voice trembling with shock. "What did you just say?" A devastating revelation has clearly shaken him. Panic erupts in the palace as reports flood in. High-ranked demons have ambushed the border. The white-haired monarch's eyes widen in horror. Realizing the princess is in danger, he desperately orders the entire imperial army to her rescue. Under a blood-red sunset, the battlefield turns into a living hell as death worms and ogres close in. The girl gasps in terror, overwhelmed by the carnage, while a lone warrior stands firm against the advancing horde. Sion stands in the valley, gripped by self-doubt, as he watches monsters that shouldn't be there. He clenches his chains, his face darkening. Is this my fault? His companions look on with growing anxiety. The blonde girl breaks into tears, clinging to Sion and vowing never to leave him again. But the moment is shattered by a deafening blast as an explosion tears them apart, plunging them back into peril. Sion streaks through the darkness, his gaze cold and sharp. "I killed a demon king in my past life," he scoffs. "I won't fall to mere trolls." Yet, beneath his arrogance, worry for his comrades lingers. The white-haired princess kneels in the debris, sobbing with guilt over her fallen knights. Despite their wounds, the soldiers stand tall, consoling her. "Don't cry, Your Highness. Protecting you is our sacred duty." As the knight vows his loyalty, Sion's expression shifts to pure dread. "Move," he screams, but it's too late. A terrifying surge of purple energy erupts, hurtling toward them with lethal force. Agony erupts as a knight is sent flying, coughing up blood. From the dust, a massive one-eyed rock troll roars, snatching Sion up like a toy. Everything around them shatters under the monster's brutal might. Ignoring the pain, Sion lunges forward, shouting at the terrified girl to stay back. Glaring into the troll's crimson eyes, a grim realization hits him. He has been the target all along. "I'll distract it. Get the princess out." Sion charges the beast with a short sword. Watching his companions flee, he lets out a bitter, mocking smirk, bracing himself for a desperate solo stand. The monster bellows, but Sion moves like lightning, his blade carving through stone. In the background, the girl watches in confusion, wondering why high-ranked demons are so relentlessly drawn to her. Under a blood-soaked sky, Sion stands atop the troll's carcass, cloak fluttering in the smoke. He feels the demon blood boiling within him as a mocking voice whispers, "You drank so much to grow strong. You stink of demons. It's no wonder they hunt you," the purple phantom jeers. Sion breaks into a cold sweat, furiously demanding of Kram, "If you knew, why tell me only now?" "I want your body," the phantom screams, lunging with bared fangs. Sion is blasted backward, slamming into the earth as his face contorts in agony. The situation spirals into pure chaos. "Shut up." Sion roars in the storm, suppressing the inner demon's pleas while fending off external attacks. His eyes burn with fury. Regardless of the toll, he is determined to carve a path out. "Bring them all on." Sion dives headlong, his purple blade light sweeping the battlefield like a storm. Amidst the screams of his foes, he tears through the blockade with suffocating dominance. A massive explosion shatters the earth. As the dust settles, the once lethal Sion covers his face in sheer embarrassment. "Well, nobody saw that," he mumbles, cringing at his own dramatic flair. Under the starlight, a fresh pack of monsters encircles him. While Kram cheers for a buffet of blood, Sion prepares to strike until he spots something impossible, freezing him in his tracks. The earth cracks open, and a massive purple demon dragon erupts from the rocks, its menacing visage and glowing purple eyes radiating immense pressure. Hidden in the shadows, grips his devil's sword with a fierce grin. He scoffs at the dragon's weakness before unleashing the dark power within the blade, ready for the fight. Possessed, grips the shimmering crimson blade. The demon sword roars, "You must devour it." A moment later, the dragon's head is struck by a surge of golden energy, letting out a pained cry. The battle ends. The monster Villiers lies defeated on the grim battlefield. A scout reports to the Duke that the princess and are nowhere to be found beyond the site. Princess Erin comforts the Duke, assuming he's worried about his son. He coldly dismisses it, saying the princess's safety is the only priority now. His callousness leaves Erin shocked and questioning. Soldiers shout that they've found the princess. The Duke is elated, but Erin doesn't care for reunions. Instead, she desperately cries, "Father, quickly, we must save him." Erin breaks down, tears streaming as she blames herself. It's my fault." The Duke sternly orders her to calm down and explain, recognizing S black-haired maid standing nearby. The Duke's face darkens as he interrogates the maid. "Tell me now." The terrified maid stammers, "The young master, he used himself as bait to buy us time to escape. I've never seen his grace look so frightened." Listening to the maid, the Duke turns, his voice final. "We will not go after him." Facing the stunned princess and emperor, he adds coldly, "A Vert should know how to look after himself." Urged by the golden-haired warrior, the Duke explains, "If demonic beasts invade the vulnerable empire, the cost is catastrophic. They must rebuild defenses first, the only way to prevent more deaths." In the downpour, the Duke declares to the maid's back he has fulfilled his duty, helping the princess evacuate. That is the fate of a Vert under the crimson sky. Princess Erin weeps, her heart screaming, "Why? Just why?" The cruel abandonment shatters Erin. "It's my fault again," she sobs in anguish. Fury and power erupt from her desperate roar as she surges forward with terrifying momentum, leaving her companions aghast. Princess Erin looks up in terror. Against a blood-red moon, a massive black dragon unfurls its wings, blotting out the sky. Her eyes widen as she whispers in disbelief, "A dragon?" A dark figure is violently hurled back by a massive purple energy blast. On the ground, a black-haired companion stares up in shock, gasping. Platform promotion, not story content. Chapter 11 begins. The scene shifts, introducing the noble dragons, creatures closest to the creator, powerful, rare, and majestic. Under the starry sky, stands alone before the terrifying purple-black dragon, its single eye glowing with menace. He screams inwardly, meeting such a noble creature is an honor, but why now, of all times? The dragon lashes out, violently throwing through the air. He roars in despair, "Must I soar over those who see me as nothing?" Beneath the full moon, the dragon soars, watched from afar by a silver-haired figure. Seeing Sion riding the dragon, Erin screams in shock. The surrounding generals are stunned, while the Duke's expression turns deadly pale. A general angrily questions the Duke's refusal to help. Meanwhile, a desperate Sion struggles with regret, never expecting things to spiral this far. The gears of fate turn once more. Amidst a chilling atmosphere, Sion is about to encounter the ultimate power of the demon realm. The colossal demon dragon shadow looms with lethal pressure, but Sion's eyes flash with a feral red light. One crazy thought consumes him: devour it. Facing a horde of demon lackeys, Sion sneers impatiently. Red energy surges in his palm as he prepares for a total bloodbath. He unleashes Sword of Mist, Accelerated Storm. The red blade cleaves the night, engulfing the hideous monster before it can even react. With a deafening roar, the massive beast is torn apart by red energy. The resulting shockwave blasts everything nearby into the air. Under the deep starry sky, Sion dives like a burning meteor. With a lethal resolve, he slams the raging beast into the ground. Sion leaps nimbly to dodge the blast. He realizes that even an adolescent dragon is terrifyingly powerful and cannot be underestimated. Wild energy erupts instantly, blinding everyone with a violent purple glare. This strike carries enough power to drive any foe into despair. Mystic patterns surface on Sion's face, a sign of full power. A series of earth-shattering explosions follows, tearing the ground asunder. His gaze turns predatory and manic. He lets out a provocative roar, and his attacks become even more brutal and unhinged. A fuming scion descends from the sky, while his opponent counters with a blade. Two immense powers clash head-on, sending sparks flying everywhere. The monster is sent flying, but Scion is also repelled by the recoil. He grits his teeth against the shock, letting out a pained grunt. Locking onto his target once more, he unleashes a sharp heavenly slash, his body becoming a blur as he cuts through the chaotic energy. Swordless, 8 petals fluttering. With this low growl, lethal energy swarms the enemy like falling petals from every direction. A stunningly flashy combo attack. Each flash signifies a heavy strike, leaving the enemy with absolutely no room to breathe. The earth trembles from the blast. Scion stands in the debris, gasping for air and rubbing his sore shoulder. Dragon hunting is no easy task. Staring at his barely breathing foe, Scion's gaze turns cold as he prepares to finish it. A violent impact pierces through the beast. Unexpectedly, the cunning creature manages to slip away. Scion curses out loud, his heart burning with frustration at being toyed with. A massive energy barrier shatters to pieces. A dark silhouette plummets at incredible speed as someone screams desperately for him to stop. The panel splits in two. The black-haired bespectacled man is utterly exhausted, lamenting his lousy luck in running into this dragon. Below, the red-haired one's eye gleams with sharp determination. Struggling, he climbs off the massive purple dragon's body, surrounded by shattered energy crystals. Gripping his sword, he agonizes. What am I supposed to do now? He stands at a precipice, torn. A pink phantom asks why he's doing nothing. He yells back angrily. There are so many people watching from below. The scene shifts. His power threatens to run wild, and he fears being burned as a monster. He barks back at the phantom. I'm thinking about it right now. A sudden scene change. A golden-haired warrior stands in a glowing magic circle, 8 golden swords floating around him. The black-haired boy senses this power and gasps. That's 8-star advanced magic. A holy golden light radiates from the warrior as he prepares to unleash a mighty technique. Someone is horrified, demanding to know. Does he not realize his own son will be caught in this too? The warrior raises his sword, unleashing a final, devastating wave of energy. Watching this, the black-haired boy shouts in bitter scorn, Father, you truly live up to your title of guardian of the continent. With a deafening roar, the colossal purple dragon makes its move, diving at incredible speed from the night sky. The dragon streaks across the night sky, trailing spectacular golden energy. A mysterious, dark-haired man watches from the side, impressed. Ooh! What a magnificent dragon! The battle flashes to a new scene. The black-haired boy tries to evade, but a terrifying golden assault is already upon him. He realizes with dread, this one. I can't dodge. He's slammed by the golden attack, shrieking as he's blasted away. Tumbling through the air, he grumbles furiously, Damn it! I can't believe I missed out on such a special feast. He begins to fall. The pink phantom barks at him, Fly! Or are you just going to kiss the ground? He whispers hopelessly, If I use my last resort, they'll burn me as a monster too. A flicker ignites in his widening eyes. A desperate idea sparks in the abyss. He shouts, Wait! I think I've got a way. His moment of hope is instantly extinguished. Below him now stretches a vast, reeking pool of blood and filth. He looks down in horror, thinking, Do I really have to fall into that disgusting waste? A massive, eerie purple hand slams down into the murky pool, sending a colossal wave erupting into the air. In the desolate mountains of the demon realm, a black dragon flies overhead. A silver-haired demon watches it pass, finding the sight rather curious. The silver-haired scoffs dismissively, finding the idea of humans besting a dragon laughable. The red-haired demon remains silent, while another, bespectacled demon just looks confused. The silver-haired demon suddenly senses something, pointing into the distance. He says gravely, A very strange energy is coming from over there. It's weird yet familiar. The red-haired demon immediately asks what's bothering him. Among the desolate red rocks, the red-haired demon urges his companion to check the mysterious energy. The silver-haired demon hesitates, sensing a lurking danger ahead. As explosions scar the sky, a winged shadow soars above. The glasses-wearing demon sighs, warning the figure not to slaughter everything just out of boredom. The flying shadow casually promises not to cause trouble before vanishing. Below, the red-haired demon watches in silence, clearly skeptical of the hollow reassurance. Red energy boils violently as Cyan clenches his eyes and screams in agony. It looks as if a primal, destructive force is tearing through his very soul. Cyan collapses onto the cracked earth, drenched in sweat and gasping for air. At the edge of this blood-red abyss, his mind teeters on the brink of collapse. Struggling to stay upright, Cyan groans in pain. Staring at the harsh reality before him, he mutters about how cruel life is, his gaze flickering with despair. As Cyan frantically calls for Kram, a surge of purple malice erupts. Kram manifests as a terrifying shadow, coldly threatening to end Cyan's life right then and there. Facing Kram's flaming spectral form, Cyan tries to stay calm and de-escalate. Kram only sneers with bared fangs, their relationship strained by lethal tension. Cyan tries to reassure himself that high-level demons are rare, but he's cut short by a sudden, massive presence. Danger and excitement clash as he braces for impact. A voice from the past echoes in his mind, sharpening Cyan's gaze instantly. He stares ahead, recognizing a familiar presence that feels like destiny. You. The voice is seared into Cyan's brain like a branding iron, making him grimace. No matter the reincarnation, this haunting memory refuses to fade away. Under a purple sky, a figure with massive demonic wings descends, coldly questioning Cyan's humanity. Cyan recoils in shock at the demon king Valkyrion. In this world of mystery and magic, various forces are at play. Cyan's path to revenge becomes even more uncertain with the Demon King's arrival. As heroes from every major series emerge, the Vert family feud rages on. New challenges arise, but the truly strong never fear the darkness of the unknown. Cyan is pulled into a deep flashback, the voice nearly suffocating him. Secrets of rebirth and past bonds intertwine as his shock turns into grim resolve. Internal struggle contorts Cyan's face as sweat pours down. That voice is a nightmare he can't escape, the ultimate destiny he is forced to confront again. Demon King Valkyrion gazes down at Cyan, his eyes glowing with a lethal red light. A suffocating pressure fills the canyon as the power gap becomes clear. Cyan roars the Demon King's name, his energy fluctuating with intense emotion. With the Demon King's arrival, the revenge saga enters its deadliest chapter. Legends say that seeing the Demon King is like witnessing all the world's evil in one body. Now, that absolute terror rests heavily on Cyan's shoulders. A purple-robed figure stands before a battlefield littered with weapons, the sky stained crimson. His voice rings out, declaring the battle to come. The dark-haired youth is knocked down, cursing. A white-haired, pointed-eared adversary looms, demanding an answer as a blade pierces his neck. The silver-haired demon laughs menacingly in the rainy night. The youth grips his dagger, on guard, while his companion coughs up blood in agony. The youth explodes into action, his violet blade slashing down. The silver-haired demon is struck. The gray-haired figure watches in disbelief, caught off guard. The silver-haired demon bursts into laughter, white light swirling. He mockingly praises the youth's potential. Cold sweat drips down the youth's face as he recognizes him, the Demon King. The Demon King manifests, radiating immense pressure. Despair floods the youth's eyes. His inner voice concedes the impossibility of victory. Escape is his only thought. A crushing question hangs in the air. Survive against Valkyrion. How? The youth fights down his panic, trying to steady his nerves. A sudden shift. The Demon King looks down with disdain, calling the youth a mere child unworthy of a fight. Then he lies down, proposing a casual chat instead. The youth is utterly baffled. Weapon in hand, The youth watches the reclining king warily. The demon bares his fangs with a dangerous smirk, repeating his question, "Are you human?" The youth cautiously confirms he's human, asking how the other arrived. The reclining demon answers casually, "The current brought me," and deduces this is the youth's first time in the demon realm. The demon king narrows his eyes, noting the youth's strange aura and hinting at recognition. The youth insists he's just an ordinary human. The king scoffs, repeating ordinary, yet is convinced otherwise. The youth flatly denies ever meeting him. The demon, sprawled on the ground, admits he's never seen a human either, but counters, "Then when could you have seen me?" Their clash unveils a deeper mystery. The youth demands to know why he's here, shocked that this demon king seems so relaxed compared to his memories. The king calmly explains he was patrolling when he sensed unusual energy. The demon king matter-of-factly declares he watches over his domain. The youth is stunned, stammering to confirm, "K kid? Did you just say, as the demon king ruling your lands?" The king kneels, a great sword in hand, smiling back. Angered by the youth's lack of awe, the demon roars, asking if his mother never threatened him with, "The demon king will take you." The youth covers his face, struggling internally. This can't be the demon king he knows. In the rainy night, the silver-haired demon king holds a glowing weapon, energy crackling. He's conflicted. If things repeat his past life, the demon invasion should begin soon, but would this version of himself really do that? The image splits. One side shows a flamboyant, dangerous demon king, the other, a youth clutching his face in anguish. A question bridges them. So what set off the change? On the wasteland, the youth coldly confronts the white-haired figure. "If you're really the demon king, what do you want to achieve?" The other sneers, mocking his audacity. The demon king's smile fades, his tone turning serious. "Not much. I just want my people to live well, to eat their fill." But, beneath a gentle facade, something darker remains unspoken. Amidst rain streaks and speed lines, the demon king's ferocious face fills the frame. He declares coldly, "If anyone dares stand in my way, I'll kill them all." The gentle pretense is utterly shattered. Cyan's gaze sharpens as he feels the demon king's power stir within him. It was fleeting, but the crushing weight of that destiny is undeniable. In the lashing rain, the memory of Valkyrion chained and monstrous resurfaces. The terror of his past life threatens to swallow him whole. The power is suppressed for now, but Cyan knows a single spark could break the seal. He clenches his fists, vowing to change fate. The silver-haired demon king looks down in disdain, but Cyan stands firm. He issues a chilling warning. A threat to the demon people is coming. Rage flares in the demon king's eyes at such nonsense. Meanwhile, Cyan breaks into a cold sweat, haunted by visions of the bloody war to come. The king demands to know Cyan's true motive. With unwavering eyes, Cyan makes his plea. "No matter what happens, do not start a war." With a patronizing air, the demon king agrees. Despite his wounds, Cyan bows his head, pledging his full support in exchange for peace. Under the crimson twilight, Cyan makes a solemn vow. His sheer resolve leaves the arrogant demon king momentarily stunned. Sensing hidden depths, the demon king sports a predatory grin. He stares intently at the boy, demanding to know his true identity. Under suffocating pressure, the boy finally speaks, "Cyan Vert." In this moment, he steps onto the stage as a player, not a pawn. The demon king spreads his arms, swearing by his crown. As power surges between them, their fates become irrevocably entwined. Hovering before a blood-red moon, the king warns Cyan to keep his word. Cyan stands with his back turned, his voice calm yet heavy with resolve. Cyan plunges his glowing blade into the stone, sealing the contract. Watching him, the demon king wears a smile of dark anticipation. Soldiers spot Cyan in the wasteland and erupt in shouts of disbelief. To them, his survival is nothing short of a miracle. Exhausted, Cyan collapses onto the parched earth. From that day on, he would be known as the boy who survived the devil dragon. Scene shifts to the monastery hospital where Cyan finally wakes up. But before he can recover, a sudden question leaves him speechless. The white-haired princess stands by the bed, her face flushed deep red. Seeing her so flustered, Cyan feels a sense of impending dread. "Be mine!" the princess screams in a sudden confession. Cyan is utterly stunned, his mind racing to process this absurd situation. This page displays the platform's update schedule for various popular series. No story content is present here. This promotional layout shows various manga covers and statuses, ending with a social media call to action, unrelated to the main plot. Facing Cyan's coldness, Princess Erin suddenly erupts, blushing furiously as she demands he be hers. This passionate confession leaves the usually stoic Cyan utterly stunned. Cyan quickly regains his cool, shutting her down with a blunt nah. Erin's passion instantly turns to burning embarrassment as she fidgets under his impatient gaze. Erin laments her weakness as a powerless princess. This self-pity grates on Cyan's nerves as he sits on the bedside, staring her down with sharp, cold eyes. Memories of past tragedies haunt Cyan as he grips a mask, his eyes dark with brooding intent. He is resolved to prevent a repeat of that grim fate. Cyan coldly tells Erin she has no value to him yet. He deliberately uses harsh words to create distance, choosing cold calculation over emotional connection. "I will watch you from afar," Cyan promises with a lingering gaze. Erin is left alone, puzzled yet deeply moved by his strange, distant guardianship. Cyan's dismissal sparks a fire in Erin. Blushing but determined, she clenches her fist and vows to grow strong enough to finally earn his recognition. "Just you wait," Erin declares with radiant confidence. Cyan responds with a provocative smirk, his eyes glinting with a hint of genuine anticipation. Leaning against the door, Erin tearfully whispers a heartfelt thanks for his life. Her sincere gratitude softens the air, creating a rare moment of warmth. As silence returns, Cyan broods alone on his bed, looking weary. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to the Garum Kingdom, where a new mission is about to unfold. In the bleak, snowy camp, a fleeing figure is violently struck down. A mysterious purple map glows in the dark as a sinister ambush reaches its climax. Mage Renaud peers greedily at a glowing dimensional cube. Before he can celebrate, Cyan appears behind him, coldly calling out his full name. Renaud realizes with horror that he's paralyzed by invisible chains. Cyan steps through the ice, calmly exposing the secrets of the rare dimensional box. The glowing cube hovers between them, illuminating Renaud's bloody face. Cyan reveals it as a top-tier masterpiece of the Mage Association, built for infinite storage. Cyan reveals he's been watching for a year, uncovering the Empire's smuggling ring. He reaches out and seizes the precious box, ignoring the mage's protests. Identity exposed, Renaud screams in terror, drenched in sweat. Cyan stands before him, wreathed in pink magical energy and radiating absolute dominance. Standing over demon remains, Cyan coldly deduces the smuggling plot using supply wagons. His sharp insight leaves the conspiracy with nowhere to hide. Renaud denies everything in a panic, but shrinks under Cyan's gaze. Cyan exposes the internal spy and warns that the black market evidence is undeniable. Cyan links the blood trade to his sister, Alice. Meanwhile, the captured mage fumes on the ground, baffled by how he was defeated by a mere child. Refusing to yield, the mage erupts in fury, unleashing a fire breath attack. A massive magic circle explodes as he roars for Cyan's death. A massive explosion erupts, sending debris flying everywhere. The mustached man gasps for air on his flaming horse, realizing with horror that the terrifying rumors about his attacker are all true. Hiding behind a rock amidst the snowy wreckage, the man grits his teeth in fury. He's not just hurt, he's lost the precious dimensional box, a catastrophic failure he never saw coming. Suddenly, horror strikes. The man screams as his hand turns a grotesque black with red cracks. Thick, dark mist swirls around him, plunging the scene into a state of absolute, bone-chilling panic. The black-masked man lunges with explosive force. Caught in the violent impact, The burly smuggler cries out in desperation before being blasted backward by a strike that threatens to tear him apart. Cyan steps through the flames, his gaze cold and lethal. He delivers a chilling ultimatum: reveal the smuggling routes and die quickly, or suffer a death so tragic even Satan would pray for you. The scene shifts to the frosty Velia's trade station. Amidst the bustling wagons and merchants, two men move through the snow with anxious faces, whispering as if plotting a dark secret. In a dimly lit warehouse, two looters celebrate their haul until they pry open a crate. Their greed turns to pure terror at the sight of eerie, dark red fibers inside, leaving them paralyzed with shock. A man, bound by red fibers and twisted in pain, is discovered inside the crate. Chaos erupts in the courtyard as screams ring out, highlighting the brutal and unchecked violence hidden within the facility. High on a cliff, a masked Cyan watches coldly alongside his taunting demon companion. Below, the treasonous knight Renaud continues his lucrative and illegal trade of demon blood under the Empire's nose. Within their gothic labs, obsessed mages push forbidden boundaries for power. Watching this madness unfold, Cyan resolves to put an end to it all, switching from assassin to a grim problem solver. Cyan decides his next move. He won't let demon blood fall into the wrong hands. Meanwhile, at a grand estate in the Ushif Empire, the calm atmosphere masks the start of a new, complex scheme. In a lavish bedroom, a white-haired noble discusses Cyan with a purple-haired woman. Mentioning his half-brother, his tone drips with suspicion, hinting at deep-seated family animosity. Askel's eyes go cold. Cyan's very existence is getting on his nerves. Straightening his suit, he decides he must confront him personally, setting the stage for a tense family showdown. Before the story proceeds, a showcase of popular daily series appears, highlighting a variety of ongoing tales ready for readers to dive into. To catch the latest releases early, stay tuned to our social media. The current calm is only temporary, as a larger storm is brewing for the next chapter. Finally out of the front lines, the energetic maid Emily jumps for joy, naively dreaming of a romantic academy life, unaware she's about to step into a different kind of danger. Cyan watches Emily's excitement with a weary sigh. To him, the academy is no playground, it's a political hellscape riddled with deep-seated conspiracies and hidden predators. While Emily daydreams of handsome instructors and romance, Cyan remains cynical. He knows all too well that in this place, jealousy and networking take precedence over any real education. With luggage in hand, Cyan walks down the academy's stone path. Dressed in his formal uniform, he gazes at the grand architecture with a stern expression, marking the start of his school life. The moment he enters the courtyard, a blond noble boy is scared out of his wits. Trembling and pointing, he screams Cyan's name as if he's just encountered a nightmare personified. Who's this idiot running like his life depends on it? It's Krantz, Cyan's half-brother. Even the demon sword scoffs, telling Cyan to just ignore the fool. Sarika notes how different Cyan is from his family. He denies it calmly, but internally, he knows there's someone else who is the true outlier. Cyan returns to the mansion to find the once indifferent servants kneeling in respect. This sudden, grand welcome feels both unexpected and deeply ironic. Watching the crowd, Cyan smirks bitterly. He was once invisible, and he knows this sudden politeness only exists because his father, or that bastard, is around. As Cyan reaches for the door, he reflects on how much his status has changed. But as his hand grips the handle, the air chills, and his gaze turns sharp. He could never forget this chilling aura. His pupils dilate as haunting memories surge through his veins, his hand trembling slightly against the door. Just as he thought the bastard he loathes is right behind this door. A lethal red glow ignites in Cyan's eyes, fueled by the inextinguishable rage of betrayal. The door swings open to reveal Askel, wearing a fake, provocative smile. Cyan forces a calm exterior while his mind screams to tear that face apart. Askel continues his patronizing small talk. Cyan listens. Cold sweat beads on his neck as he fights to stay rational while his sanity nears its limit. "I'm going to kill him!" Cyan's eyes twist with raw fury, his fists clenching tight. Opposite him, the hypocrite stays poised, watching him like a show. Sensing the overwhelming killing intent, his dagger glows with an eerie light. Cyan battles his impulses. It's not time yet. He must focus to survive. The atmosphere turns suffocating as Cyan grabs Askell by the collar. Their eyes lock, and fake greetings echo bitterly through the dark corridor. How could I ever forget my own brother's face? Cyan sneers. Beneath this nauseating display of brotherhood lies a vengeful fire ready to explode. Askell maintains his good brother persona, praising Cyan's sword skills and mentioning the battlefield tomorrow. Every word is a calculated move. At the mention of the battlefield, Cyan's eyes flare with manic anticipation. He admits he's looking forward to it, the air crackling with their shared hostility. Askell turns away with chilling indifference. Cyan watches him, knowing full well that man only acknowledges those he can use, still seeing Cyan as a pawn. Strangely, the dangerous encounter calms Cyan. Meanwhile, poor Emily arrives lugging heavy suitcases, sweating and grumbling about the lack of help. Emily collapses, ready to vent her frustration, only to look up and see the eldest young master. The shock sends her soul flying in terror. Askell greets Emily with a spine-chilling gentleness that leaves her trembling. Cyan watches coldly, disgusted by the display of power and intimidation. Once Askell leaves, Emily finally exhales in relief. But Cyan turns distant, demanding to be alone as his instincts warn him of an approaching storm. Cyan gazes down with chilling authority, warning her not to make him repeat himself. Terrified and drenched in cold sweat, Emily collapses to the floor with a desperate scream. Cyan collapses against the wall, trembling from the agonizing aftershocks of battle. A sharp-toothed shadow looms behind him, mockingly asking if he shouldn't be offering his thanks. Cyan confronts the inner demon's attempt to seize his body. The monster erupts in a sinister laugh, declaring it only wants his rage to fester so he becomes more delicious to consume. Regaining his composure with a cold smirk, Cyan's resolve hardens. He strides toward the heavy doors with steady steps, his mind set on a decisive new path. Inside the lavish manor, a subordinate bows to the blonde elder brother, Askell, reporting the discovery of the second girl. Askell listens calmly as the air fills with the scent of conspiracy. Leafing through a book, Askell inquires about the target's location. He coolly analyzes the situation, ordering his men to maintain constant surveillance, keeping everything under his thumb. Noticing Askell's unusually bright mood, a subordinate slyly brings up the meeting with Cyan. Askell's gaze shifts, his voice laced with an unreadable, subtle intensity. Askell breaks into a manic laugh before his face suddenly turns stone cold. He glares at his subordinate, chillingly declaring that his mood is actually at its worst. The subordinate trembles violently, stammering out apologies in pure terror. Askell's eyes glow with a haunting red pattern, radiating an aura of absolute madness and lethal danger. Calming down, Askell realizes Cyan looks at him as if he's a lifelong nemesis. The creeping sense of threat irritates him, making him vow to keep a predatory eye on his brother. As the sun sets, Askell sits in his armchair issuing secret orders. Meanwhile, a crimson-eyed Cyan smirks from afar, signaling the start of a deadly game of shadows. Hand to chin, Askell falls into deep thought, repeating Cyan's name. He is desperate to unmask what his brother is hiding, creating an atmosphere of suffocating suspicion. A display of the platform's manga update schedule, featuring various popular series along with their release dates and hiatus statuses. A social media promotion page urging readers to follow the official account, flanked by a menacing image of a red-eyed character. A grand carriage waits before the imposing manor. Spotting Cyan, Emily erupts in an emotional cry, her eyes wide with a mix of disbelief, reverence, and shock. Alice throws a fit over only being allowed to send knights as escorts, venting her frustration. Unfazed inside the carriage, Cyan bluntly warns her not to cause trouble while he's gone. As the carriage rolls away, Cyan offers a confident smile from the window. Emily stands frozen on the steps, struggling to process the suddenness of his departure. Emily chases after the carriage, screaming for Cyan never to give up and to return safely. Watching her earnest, frantic efforts, a rare wave of warmth flickers in Cyan's heart. Memories resurface of a wretched, rainy night when Cyan was 8. Shivering with fever in the dark, his consciousness fading, he was a dying child whom nobody cared for. In his darkest hour, only Emily carried his burning body on her back, screaming for help through the storm. She was the only one who fought to keep him alive. Through the torrential rain, Cyan recalls the days Emily nursed him back to health. Her unwavering care was the only warmth in his dark childhood. He teases Emily with a smile, but secretly vows, she is far more than a maid. She is someone he must protect at all costs. Back in the present, Cyan senses something off. The escort consists entirely of level 6 elites far too heavy for a mere bastard son. Cyan sits in the shadows, a dangerous smirk tugging at his lips. He foresees it. The path to the academy will be stained with blood. As the sun dips low, the carriage thunders down a desolate forest path. Amidst the silence, a lethal intent creeps through the trees. The guard suggests camping in the woods. Cyan leans back, feigning sleep, while watching them lead him straight into a preset trap. The guard lies about being near Saffron, but Cyan knows the map perfectly. There are no forests there. The deception is laid bare. The carriage halts in a deathly quiet clearing. Cyan steps out, his gaze turning icy as he faces the armed guard standing ready. Cyan drops the act, standing in the evening breeze, to confront the traitors directly, who ordered them to kill their young lord. The guards tense up, but the masked man lets out an eerie sneer. Cyan's red eyes narrow, his target already locked. The kneeling captain remains arrogant, mocking that a corpse needs no answers. The air freezes. The scent of death fills the wasteland. They hypocritically promise him a painless death. But Cyan's patience has run dry. As the blade draws, his killing intent explodes. "Goodbye," Cyan mutters coldly. Before they can react, he is a blur, and a severed head flies into the twilight sky. Under a blood-red sunset, Cyan stands over the wreckage like a god of death. The assassination has turned into his personal hunting ground. Cyan descends like a demon in the rainy night, his demonic blade glowing red. The once arrogant killers now scramble in blind terror. His glowing red eyes pierce through the survivors, his voice chillingly calm. "What's wrong? Where did all that murderous courage go?" A beam of pink energy tears through the battlefield. The blond boy watches the divine destruction, his spirit utterly broken by fear. Screams erupt as Cyan becomes a violent whirlwind. Those who resist are crushed instantly. Against such power, struggle is futile. Dust and debris fly everywhere. Cyan moves through the chaos without emotion, each strike systematically dismantling the enemy's will. Cyan stands triumphant, cloaked in a pink glow. His broken opponent weeps on the ground, unable to believe this monster is only 11. Bodies and an overturned carriage litter the scene of a brutal battle. Cyan stands amidst the carnage, red energy swirling around his fingers. Onlookers realize surviving a dragon encounter was no fluke. His power is terrifying. Cyan's right eye glows with a blood-red light, radiating a chilling aura. The survivor breaks down completely, sobbing and screaming as he realizes their assassination mission was doomed from the very start. Under the twilight sky, Cyan looms over a terrified blonde assassin with a glowing dagger. The blade pulses with lethal intent as he coldly commands, "Speak." The sheer weight of his presence freezes the air. The blonde man collapses, trembling as he names Margaret as the mastermind. Cyan sneers with contempt. The truth was all too predictable. As the assassin shrieks in terror, his fate is sealed by his own confession. The carriage thunders down the road. Brian, the driver, nervously reveals that this plot stems from Krantz's desperate plea. Atop the roof, Cyan wears a dangerous smirk. He already knows exactly how to handle his old rival. Indoors, Cyan stares coldly at Brian, who is now bound to a chair. Trembling with uncontrollable fear, Brian asks if he's about to be killed. The suffocating dread of impending death leaves the former assassin utterly hopeless. Brian admits his past murderous intent, and resigns himself to his fate. Cyan looks down with a piercing gaze. There's a difference between being reckless and being useless. He grants Brian a chance to live as long as he leads the way. Nervous and sweating, Brian grips the reins with everything he has. When the carriage finally halts, he thanks Cyan with a mix of awe and relief. Peering out, Cyan's eyes widen. They have finally reached Saffron. The majestic Saffron Castle stands tall atop a hill, bathed in sunlight. Cyan gazes at the sprawling inland city with a whirlwind of emotions. His path to vengeance truly begins here, at the heart of the Empire's power. Elsewhere, the mastermind shatters glass in a fit of rage upon hearing the news of the failed mission. The blond man roars in fury, unable to believe his assassins were wiped out. The room reeks of failure and growing dread. In her lavish study, Margaret is struck by panic. Her subordinate admits they underestimated Cyan and suspects a hidden benefactor. Desperate to fix their blunder, they plan to strike again once Cyan enters the Royal Academy. Enough! Margaret screams, but the dark-haired man before her remains unmoved, his eyes cold, as he threatens her son's life. The air crackles with hostility as the proud lady finally feels the weight of a deadly backlash. To bury the scandal, Margaret coldly orders a total media blackout. Turning to her subordinate with murderous intent, she commands him to eliminate anyone who knows the truth. Her ruthless resolve shows she will stop at nothing to hide her tracks. In the dimly lit corridor, the dark-haired henchman bows in silent obedience. As the door clicks shut, a heavy silence falls. This wordless compliance signals a coming purge, leaving the estate draped in a veil of lethal conspiracy. 10 days have passed since leaving Saffron. Cyan rests in the carriage, reflecting on Brian's unwavering loyalty during the trip. While he appears calm, Cyan is internally reevaluating their dynamic. The driver's performance has been surprisingly useful. "Young master, we've arrived," Brian calls out excitedly. Cyan opens his eyes, responding with a simple "fine," while already calculating Brian's next role. As the carriage reaches the Royal Academy, a new chapter of challenges begins. Gazing at the grand gates of the Royal Academy, Cyan is flooded with memories of his past life. Though not all were pleasant, this place changed him forever. Now, he returns with a heart set on vengeance, ready to rewrite his destiny. Inside the solemn library, Cyan reveals his duke's crest. The glittering badge instantly draws everyone's attention. By asserting his noble identity, he steps firmly into the Academy's political fray, ready to face the elite social games. The blonde senior at the desk stammers as she confirms Cyan's registration. She directs him to his dorm and reminds him of the upcoming entrance ceremony and elemental test. Cyan looks slightly puzzled, sensing something unusual beneath the standard procedure. When the tray is presented, Cyan is stunned. On it lie a sealed letter and a magnificent key. Breaking his usual composure, he asks with a cold sweat, "Are you sure there's no mistake?" This unexpected turn clearly rattles his calculated plans. A brown bag is dropped as Brian, the attendant, trembles in sheer terror. His eyes widen in a desperate scream, realizing they've arrived at a place far more dangerous than expected. The grand royal hall glows with an imposing golden light. Cyan stands firm, sensing a hidden trap. No one in his family has ever been assigned to such a prestigious, yet suspicious, place. With a sharp, cold gaze, Cyan exerts a quiet dominance. He tells a sweating Brian that his role is finished, signaling that the real game is only just beginning. Brian cries out in shock as Cyan swiftly pulls out a heavy pouch of gold. The sudden clink of coin shatters the tense silence of the darkened room. Cyan hands over the gold, warning Brian to start a new life and never return to Velia's. It's a cold mercy. Take the payment and leave before the shadows catch up. Completely overwhelmed, Brian drops to his knees. With fiery resolve, he shouts a vow of eternal loyalty, pledging to serve Cyan for the rest of his life. Surprised to learn the driver is actually a knight, Cyan listens as Brian reflects on his father's words to serve a master worth trusting without a second thought. Cyan scoffs, his eyes gleaming with a lethal purple light. He looms over Brian, calling his loyalty foolish and coldly asking how he knows he won't be betrayed later. Brian grits his teeth, undeterred by the threat. Cyan dismisses the sentiment and heads for the elemental test, with Brian following submissively like a loyal shadow. In the dean's office, news of talented freshmen spreads. Meanwhile, the classroom hums with nervous energy as the pivotal elemental test begins to unfold. A brilliant magic circle erupts as Princess Erin completes her test. With light element 52, her 2-star mana rating commands immediate respect from the onlookers. While others excel with sand elements, Cyan's results create a stir. His mana is a lowly 1-star, yet his rank S physical status is an absolute anomaly. The tables turn as a surge of dark energy erupts. With a staggering darkness 92, Cyan surpasses the legendary Alice Vert, leaving Instructor Serica in total shock. The dean stares in awe and apprehension. While Cyan's talent is peerless, his affinity for darkness sparks fear of corruption within the Academy's highest ranks. Cyan's file is slammed down. His assignment to the Royal Hall came directly from the Emperor. This imperial interference deepens the growing mystery surrounding him. Shockwaves hit as Serica learns Cyan saved the princess. The rumor of a royal engagement leaves her speechless, turning a school matter into a high-stakes political game. Visions of war flicker as the potential marriage threatens to trigger a succession crisis. Serica weighs the gravity of a union that could tear the empire apart. Cyan walks the halls, reflecting on how his strength far exceeds his past life. He knows the demon blood is working, and this power is just the beginning. Old enemies clash in the corridor. The bullies are horrified to see Cyan alive, their faces twisting in fear as his cold presence suffocates the room. Popper, the arrogant noble, sneers at Cyan's birth. Cyan watches his old tormentor with a chilling calm. He's glad they met again. The debt will be paid in full. Cyan's eyes erupt with a murderous red glow, locking onto the blonde thugs. The bystanders break into a cold sweat, paralyzed by the sheer killing intent in his stare. Before they can react, Cyan explodes forward like a phantom, the impact sending bodies flying. His terrified friend screams in horror as the violence unfolds. Here's the current release schedule, featuring a lineup of popular series updated daily for readers to follow. Check the official platform for the latest chapters. This dark character's sinister grin is a reminder to follow and stay updated. Cyan corners the arrogant blonde bully. The boy is still talking big about squashing him, unaware that death is already staring him in the face. The bully cowers in fear of those glowing eyes. As a bystander tries to intervene, Cyan lunges with blinding speed, delivering an unstoppable strike. The fight is over in a flash. The once arrogant bully now lies broken on the floor as Cyan towers over him, his cold voice chilling to the bone. With a mocking smirk, Cyan delivers a final warning. He claims to be merciful, but the suffocating pressure in his gaze says otherwise. Don't expect to graduate in one piece. Cyan leaves the shivering victim behind, finding a dark amusement in this newfound control over his life. The scene shifts to the quiet Royal Academy library, where the next chapter of this mystery is about to unfold. Instructor Serica walks alone through the halls. Her mind is heavy with thoughts of Cyan. Is he a future hero, or a looming disaster? She frantically searches the shelves, her movements growing desperate. Sweat beads on her brow as she realizes something vital is missing. Looking for this? Cyan appears silently behind her with a forbidden book. The instructor screams in shock. This is a strictly restricted area. Terrified that she didn't sense his presence, the instructor falters. Cyan remains eerily calm, offering the book back with a knowing, strategic smile. The moment their hands meet, disaster strikes. The book erupts with violent purple energy, shredding to pieces. Cyan instantly senses the trap. Amidst flying pages and swirling energy, Cyan demands answers. Instructor Serica's facade cracks, revealing the lethal aura of the Mist organization's leader. The peaceful setting is shattered as Serica draws her weapon. Cyan's mind races back to his past life, remembering when she seemed so ordinary. In a memory, Serica speaks gently of growth. Sion remains silent, his heart bitter. After his brother's abuse, such words feel like a cruel joke. She mentions Sion's staggering 84% darkness element, a rare and mysterious trait. Though he acts confused, Sion knows this is the core of his power. Sarika suddenly flashes a peace sign, declaring his potential is infinite. This unexpected praise leaves Sion stunned, his mind swirling with emotion. Sion looks at the instructor's gentle smile, wondering if she could guide him. But he quickly shakes it off, realizing his earlier assumptions were a total mistake. He warns himself, never fall for the face behind those glasses. The so-called academy instructor is nothing more than a carefully crafted disguise. The truth is out. She's the leader of the assassin organization Mist, boldly hiding right in the heart of the elite Royal Academy. In the dim library, Sion takes a defensive stance, but the Mist leader remains calm, ordering him to follow her to the lab for a chat. Entering the secret lab filled with mystical treasures and equipment, Sion finds everything unchanged and wonders how she can stay so composed. The instructor pours tea emitting purple smoke. Sion picks up his cup and asks bluntly, "You laced this with poison?" Her response is chillingly nonchalant. She claims the poison can melt organs, but Sion doesn't flinch. After his training with demon blood and lethal toxins, this is child's play. The tension hits freezing point. Sion sets down his tea, staring her down and demanding to know how she discovered his true identity. Sion points out the exact location of her hidden commands among the library books, making the Mist leader suspect he's one of their own. Faced with Sion's confidence, the instructor scoffs, thinking he's just an arrogant brat bragging about his high element values. As the talk deepens, Sion drops a bombshell. "Nobles are dying one after another. Is this the start of your purification process?" At the accusation, a golden glint flashes in her eyes as she denies everything. Sion presses on, trying to tear open the political conspiracy. The argument heats up. Sion denounces the assassinations, and she retaliates with a threat. The air is thick with the smell of conflict. Enough talk. The instructor lunges like purple lightning, smashing the table into splinters as the battle erupts into violence. "If that's how you want to play, I'm all in." Sion winces his fist, eyes sharp, meeting her explosive impact head-on. Their forms blur in combat. The instructor strikes relentlessly, shouting that as the leader, no one can fake a Mist identity before her. Sion is knocked back, his face bloodied. Instead of panicking, he calms down. If words won't work, he'll have to use real power. Red and purple energies clash over the shattered streets. Sion grips his blade, his focus absolute as he hunts for a counter-opening. With a deafening bang, the instructor is blasted back, eyes wide in shock. Sion coldly states, "If you won't believe me, I'll show you." The demon blade K-Ram activates, its pink glow piercing the haze. Seeing the legendary weapon, the Mist leader is stunned. How is this possible? While Sarika worries about the missing heir, Sion brandishes a glowing blade and reveals his true identity. Sarika is left in absolute shock. Night falls over Lewin, the quiet streets masking the secrets of the Mist. Beneath this starlit peace, a hidden world awaits. Sarika leads Sion to a secret entrance. A purple magic circle glows between them, the air thick with tension and arcane energy. Standing on a mist-covered bridge, Sarika points the way forward. From here, Sion must face the coming trials alone. Inside, Sion finds a massive underground realm created by the Mist god. The scale is immense, and the atmosphere is heavy with dread. Sion dashes through the corridors, his eyes sharp and focused. He calculates every second with lethal precision, searching for his targets. The ambush begins exactly as expected. Masked assassins lunge from the shadows, but Sion greets them with a confident, chilling smirk. Combat erupts. Sion flips through shockwaves, staying calm even as he is surrounded. To him, this isn't a crisis, it's just a warm-up. The attackers are horrified. This boy moves so fast he deflected their daggers midair. His reaction speed is beyond anything they've seen. The enemies unleash the Death Horn formation, closing in on Cyan with a flurry of blades. The sense of danger is overwhelming. Cyan stops holding back, unleashing a wave of terrifying red energy. His secret technique, Wave of Bloodlust, strikes primal fear into the assassins. A colossal skeletal phantom erupts, manifesting Cyan's bloodlust into physical form. The sheer weight of his aura crushes the attacker's spirits. Amidst the wreckage, the assassins lie broken. Cyan lowers his guard for a second, only to realize one person is still standing. A powerful aura radiates from the mysterious figure. Cyan grits his teeth and channels his energy once more, preparing a devastating strike. Disaster strikes? Cyan's technique is countered mid-execution. He stumbles back, sweating and stunned. Just who is this incredible opponent? Their blades clash again in a shower of sparks. Serika taunts him as they fight, leaving Cyan struggling to keep up with her speed. Serika goes full berserker, screaming for Cyan to show his true power. Purple energy explodes as she lunges with a bone-shattering assault. Overjoyed that Cyan also masters the mist blade, Serika's excitement turns into madness. She chases him down with a terrifying, bloodthirsty grin. Cyan feels the crushing pressure. He realizes Serika is a true battle maniac, one who won't stop until someone is dead. The crazed mentor Serika has completely lost herself in bloodlust, erupting with blinding purple energy. She screams as she unleashes Miststorm, a hellish assault that seems to tear space itself apart. Facing this sealed magical barrier, Cyan shows no fear, instead snapping back at Serika with disdain. A massive purple magic circle now completely isolates them, as the battle sits on a knife's edge. Killer intent ignites in Cyan's eyes, his body wreathed in blood-red aura. He doesn't care if he ends up killing her. He's ready to risk everything and unleash the ultimate move of a master assassin. After the fierce clash, Cyan lies bloodied among the rubble. Serika looks down at him with a calm, scrutinizing gaze, as if trying to uncover the secrets hidden within the young boy. Serika presses forward, mentioning the holy sword Kairam and the dark god Air. She isn't just suppressing him with force, but attempting to exert total spiritual dominance over the successor. It turns out this was all a brutal entry test. Serika admits her actions were only to verify Cyan's worth. Infuriated, Cyan roars in defiance as the atmosphere drops to freezing. Faced with Cyan's rage, Serika only gives a contemptuous smile. She toys with energy at her fingertips, mocking his helplessness as Cyan's strength nears its absolute limit. Serika dismisses Cyan's power form as worthless and inefficient. Meanwhile, the demon blood inside him begins a violent backlash. The sensation of being consumed by his own power is agonizing. Serika finally reveals her true identity as the Mentor of Mist. A narcissistic, feverish light glints in her eyes. She displays a nearly pathological interest in Cyan as an opponent. Cyan feels pure disgust at this madwoman's persistence, wanting her gone. But Serika forcefully steps in front of him, vowing to personally teach him a lesson as purple energy erupts once more. "It's my honor!" Serika lets out a jagged laugh, her purple weapon humming with power. Her desperate longing to be pushed to the brink of death is enough to chill anyone to the bone. The ritual is finally beginning. Serika condenses a blinding sphere of blue energy as a cold command echoes through the hall. Send the successor to the altar. Cyan knows the real trial starts now. A massive energy ring spins in the air, emitting a deafening roar. Though covered in wounds, Cyan's eyes shine with desperate excitement. He is finally about to meet the legendary Dark God. At the center of the energy storm, the Dark God Air sits regally upon his throne. The suffocating pressure radiating from beneath his black cloak and mask makes him seem like the undisputed master of the void. As the story reaches its climax, the week's exciting serialization continues. Many popular manga titles are updating as scheduled, leading you through various fantastical worlds. Don't want to miss the latest developments? Follow our platform and join the cold, red-eyed protagonist in searching for justice across tales of rebirth and battle. Some say the god of black mist is pure evil. Against a grim backdrop, a shattered skull foreshadows a path of revenge destined to be paved in blood, violence, and resentment. Hypocrites always love to kill in the name of justice. The hooded boy's eyes flash with a vengeful red glow. He intends to shred those false rules and fight for himself. The colossal god gazes down at the tiny mortal, a crushing pressure that is almost suffocating. Yet, even when faced with the god's questioning of justice, the boy's silhouette remains proud and unwavering. He is an imitator of God. With heavy footsteps, Air, the god of black mist, makes his official entrance. The ground shatters under divine power as a violent new chapter for Cyan begins. Cyan dashes up the stairs toward a looming figure. Debris flies as the air thickens. A chilling voice asks, "Do you know who I am?" Atop the throne, the cloaked figure's eyes glow red. Cyan calmly names him, Air, god of black mist. Air is genuinely surprised. Facing a god's interrogation, Cyan stands firm, claiming the mist power is within. Air smirks, revealing two paths to succession. A massive mechanical hand holds a glowing gem over a kneeling Cyan. Air explains the first path, the direct gifting of power. Air identifies Cyan as the second path. He mentions a mist gem that vanished a year ago, now fused into Cyan's body. The god notices Cyan has awakened KRM and possesses eyes far too mature. The sword spirit grumbles as tension spikes. Air deduces Cyan is a visitor from another time. Cyan is shaken, shocked that his deepest secret was uncovered so easily. The god scoffs at his lost divinity, no longer all-powerful. Cyan eyes the silver mechanical limb, realizing Air is telling the truth. Air calls Cyan a burden, but finds his appearance amusing. Cyan and KRM remain wary of the god's calculated schemes. Seeing the holy sword badge, Air grins slyly. Cyan's gaze sharpens as he questions if the god intends to steal its power. Air toys with the badge, claiming unused power is just scrap metal. Cyan watches coldly, unsettled by this twisted logic. The ritual ignites. Air's mechanical palm erupts in pink energy. Since Cyan wants the power, he must survive the procedure. Cyan is engulfed by an energy storm. Amidst the crushing pressure, the god asks, "How will you use this power?" Cyan recalls his past life. He faced the same choice then, but gave the foolish answer that he'd live for his brother. Gory memories of past battles flash by. Cyan grits his teeth against the pain, vowing never to let history repeat itself. His monologue drips with irony. Stupid convictions are dangerous. Cyan struggles between memory and reality, filled with disdain. Stepping out of the blood-red visions, Cyan's stride hardens. He no longer seeks a grand mission, only cold void remains. I will use this power selfishly. Cyan grips the red energy, declaring that this time, he lives only for himself. Warned by Air about potential regret, a sweating but determined Cyan prepares to embrace the forbidden power. A roar erupts alongside the surging red energy. In the heart of the ruins, Cyan makes the choice that changes his fate. In the dim shadows, a hooded mystery man glares at the black-haired boy, demanding to know his plot. The boy's flat refusal sends a chill through the air. The man's red eyes glow in the dark, radiating pure pressure. He coldly ends the surveillance game, shifting his focus to his daughter. The pink-haired demon girl writhes in pain as the man mocks her loyalty to her master. Their twisted father-daughter dynamic is suffocating. Choked and desperate, the demon girl begs the boy for help. He just watches calmly, dryly joking about their heartwarming family bond. A massive magic circle erupts, sending pink energy spiraling out of control. The demon girl screams in the center of the blinding blast. The surging power leaves the girl in agony, tears streaming down her face. Below, the purple-haired mentor senses the shockwave in disbelief. As the light fades, the girl angrily grabs the boy's collar. He remains unfazed, casually admitting he just gave her a little boost. The mystery man laughs maniacally at the girl's rage. Wiping sweat, the boy mutters that the father and daughter are exactly alike. The next morning, sunlight streams into the dorm. The gold-haired coward looks around the empty room, confusedly searching for his master. The boy calmly sips tea, ignoring his companion's meltdown. Suddenly, the purple-haired mentor shows up early, shifting the mood. The mentor flashes a sharp smile while flaunting a manual. The boy's gaze turns icy as he warns the organization leader to be careful. Phantasmal beasts roar in the background as tensions peak. The boy stands his ground, snapping at her to stop harassing his ward. Fed up with the noise, the boy heads out for a walk, leaving his trembling companion behind, haunted by terrifying combat visions. Finally alone, the boy sits on a rooftop overlooking the quiet town. A breeze drifts by, and he finally relaxes in the fleeting peace. Suddenly, the stench of blood hits him. His eyes sharpen as a pink-haired student slams into the ground nearby, battered and bleeding. In a dark corner, a group of noble bullies surround the injured student, mocking him with a malice that's sickening to witness. The lead bully grins, dangling an eerie red orb before his victim. The student gasps in terror, sensing the impending nightmare. The bully forces the energy orb closer, relishing the despair. The student screams in agony as the magic begins to corrode him. A cold voice cuts through the abuse. Princess Erin steps in, condemning their spinelessness as the confrontation turns lethal. Princess Erin stands tall on the stone steps, her red eyes flashing with authority. Her arrival shatters the dark cycle of bullying. A blonde boy is being ruthlessly suppressed by bullies. Erin, the white-haired princess, steps in, scolding them for bringing shame to the nobility. The bully Barrett arrogantly reveals his noble lineage. The purple-haired girl screams in pain as he exerts his dominance over her. Princess Erin formally introduces herself to stop the violence, but the victim only responds with a chilling, mocking laughter. The tables turn as Barrett violently pins the princess down. Erin is left bleeding and shocked, her royal dignity shattered in an instant. In a dimly lit warehouse, two soldiers mock a kneeling, pink-haired boy. The suffocating pressure suggests he's in deep trouble. Bullies surround the pink-haired boy outside. Barrett leans in with a twisted smile, forcing the boy to call this cruelty a joke. Princess Erin is fuming, shouting at the boy to stop lying. But the terrified boy, drenched in sweat, succumbs to the pressure just to survive. Barrett erupts in maniacal laughter. He grabs a collar as the tension snaps into raw violence, ignoring the princess's protests. Erin reaches her limit, gripping Barrett's wrist in a fierce standoff. She spits out a vow of retribution, her eyes burning with rage. Just as Barrett scoffs at his weak opponent, Cyan lunges in with a powerful kick, sending the bully flying through the air. While Erin stands frozen in shock, Cyan stares intensely at the pink-haired boy, his mind racing with a single name, Leximus? Chaos erupts as everyone screams in panic. Cyan looks at the pathetic boy, trying to reconcile him with the legendary warrior he once knew. Cyan's memories flash back to his past life. Atop a moonlit castle, he duels a purple-haired sword master in a storm of sparks. This is Leximus, the continent's strongest swordsman. Her cold, unwavering gaze and glowing blade radiate an aura of absolute death. Their blades clash with earth-shattering force. Cyan recalls how she abandoned her nation and identity in a relentless pursuit of power. Suddenly, a surge of blue energy erupts. Cyan is blasted into the air, his face contorted in disbelief at her overwhelming strength. A monstrous silhouette looms in the dark. The pink-haired warrior charges with destructive intent, shattering the very ground beneath them. Amidst the carnage, Cyan seizes an opening for a backstab. His sole mission: assassinate this woman, no matter how godlike her skills. Silence descends upon the ruins. Cyan stands exhausted, looking down at his foe with profound respect for a warrior who peaked without mana. Past and present collide. The contrast between the legendary continent's strongest and this bullied, broken child is utterly absurd. Cyan kicks a noisy bully back with ease. Instead of running, the blonde leader smirks and invites Cyan to join their deadly little game. The game is lethal. Forcing someone to swallow a mana ball causes internal collapse. Cyan looks on with cold disdain at their twisted cruelty. Surprisingly, Cyan accepts the glowing mana ball without hesitation. His calm response leaves the bullies paralyzed with unexpected fear and shock. Cyan turns the tables, raising the pulsing ball in the pouring rain. His eyes glow red as he coldly orders the bully, "Open your mouth." After the conflict, the scene shifts to the Grand Academy. Behind his peaceful facade, Cyan is busy reshaping the fates of those around him. In the infirmary, Princess Erin kindly tends to the injured Leximus. Cyan stands by the door, silently observing the future master swordsman. Seeing Leximus's shy reaction, Cyan confirms his suspicions. He knows this boy is hiding a secret that could change everything. Tension fills the room as Leximus flushes under Cyan's gaze. Cyan offers a blunt apology, leaving Erin looking completely bewildered. Erin asks about Leximus's dorm, only to find out she lives in the slums. Without a backer, this future genius faces certain expulsion. Without her mentor's support, Leximus is left helpless. Cyan ruthlessly points out the reality. Without a sponsor, she has no future. Cyan suggests Erin take her in, but Erin hesitates because Leximus is a boy. Cyan smirks and drops the bombshell. She's a girl. The truth hits Erin like a sledgehammer. Leximus bows her head in shame, explaining she dressed as a boy only for convenience. Instead of anger, Erin feels guilt for not noticing. The two share a moment of heartfelt apology, softening the tension in the room. Erin offers her protection and a chance to study. Faced with this sudden salvation, Leximus can hardly believe her luck. Moved to tears by Erin's kindness, Leximus vows to become someone the princess can be proud of. A powerful bond is forged. Seeing the mission accomplished, Cyan slips away. He knows that with Erin's help, this swordmaster won't suffer her previous tragic fate. Walking in the sunset, Cyan reflects on the conspiracy that nearly ruined Leximus. He won't let the masterminds escape justice. With school matters settled, Cyan's gaze turns icy. He's received word from his contact it's time for more important cleanup work. As an operative of Mist, Cyan prepares for his first purification mission. Clenching his fist, he wears a dangerous, confident smile. Finally, a special announcement reveals the group's rebranding to Demon Sect. The story continues as a new chapter begins.